I was talking to my group today.
We're live.
I was like, they should just...
Greetings, all who roam this world. Shut the fuck up. We're starting.
Dan really wants to talk about Marvel Rivals.
No, we're not talking about that today.
Greetings, all who roam this world. We are the Quest Bros.
Greetings, all who roam this world.
Greetings,
We are the
all
Quest
who roam
Bros.
this
Greetings, all...
Alright, the mic is spiking.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't
Yeah.
care that he gets it right. He just cares that he...
Interrupt you.
Yes.
Welcome to the eardrums being blown out, everyone.
Greetings, all who roam this world. We are the Quest Bros.
Greetings, all.
Bringing
who's
you
here
a
to bleed.
Quest Bro Q&A/talk session. Ooh, super boring.
So the reason also I wanted to do this,
Say like that. You...
I streamed on Monday.
Say piss.
Super successful. I think the view was at 60 views. Great. A lot of people in our Discord were here chatting. Are they going to be here today? I don't
Who
know.
knows?
Nobody.
I ignore the view count.
But they offered a lot of questions, and I was able to answer. But I wanted to bring some of those questions back for everyone, because again, this just records and it gets put on our YouTube, so it's fine. So we have a record of it.
Yeah,
Sure. Almost basically like a podcast, but like not really.
It's a podcast, but you can see us.
Yeah.
Oh,
that,
no.
That disqualifies it.
Yeah.
So
How many of those have we had?
Non-podcast
basically
podcast?
none.
No. Podcasts where you could see us.
None.
No, we've had like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
have
a
we?
couple.
Yeah. Especially during the
This
pandemic.
is our first one with Michael.
Yeah.
No, because we
apparently.
did one at your
There
guys'
might have-
place. There was one that we put the camera in the corner of your guys'
Thank you,
Oh.
Matthew.
Are you putting lights?
Possibly.
He's
Either way.
spamming hearts.
I don't even know.
Oh.
No one can see it.
No one can see it.
Yeah, it's not even showing up.
But yeah. Anyway, that aside though. So what are we discussing today?
Good
So-
question, Mega Man.
So what are we discussing today?
So
Shut up.
that's
So what
a
are we
great
discussing?
Matthew. That is a great question.
What are we discussing today?
What are we doing today, Anthony?
So
Hey, Anthony, what are we discussing?
some of the questions I have are from Monday's stream. It was kind of about improv D&D, since that is being a big staple of ours.
Anthony, what are we discussing?
If you shut the fuck up and listen,
Hey, Anthony.
I'm gonna throw Dan's shake,
Hey, Anthony.
and then I'm gonna make you lick it off this floor.
Hey, Anthony. Love you, Pookie.
I know. I'm ready to shove that remote up his ass.
Promise? Promise?
Hey, Anthony.
Thank you all for watching.
We'll be doing
This is
questions
how it
and
feels
nothing
to be
else.
a TM.
This is how it feels to be Jared.
It's
Um,
good. All right.
Yeah.
But we were also having a good conversation upstairs, so I kind of cut it short so we could just have the same conversation down here.
Yeah.
Mostly kind of talking about improv D&D things, but also just talking about general Quest Bro things. in
Basically,
general.
we are talking about Quest Bros is getting to the point now where we're doing our shows, we're doing our conventions, that we actually need more accommodations to
Or-
go to them, or
I
maybe
don't even
not.
that. We just need
Need-
to have. We need to set what our standards
Standards
are,
are, yeah. Our standards are increasing.
or becoming something. Before we would just kind of take anything and everything.
Mhm. But now we need stuff.
Yeah, now we either need stuff or we need to at least be accommodated in some way, or we just can't say yes and do it on our dime.
Yeah.
Not saying that's for everything, but some.
Thank you, Fan Expo. You've ruined us.
Yeah, honestly.
That's
You've spoiled us.
because ever since Fan Expo really got our whole group out there, and they were like, "All right, we'll pay for
8 tickets.
like 8 tickets. We'll pay for the convention. You guys come in. You will have 2 shows. You do the shows." Like since then, it's been like, okay, let's get the other conventions up to that standard to get our group there for free.
Yeah, because as some of you have seen, if you've been to our shows, we get a good turnout. We have a lot of people there.
Do we?
but the panel or the convention itself, they don't promote it or support it as. I mean, they support it as in like they support us and our goal. But like we don't. I see a chat, and I know it's Matthew.
I
I was about to make the joke of like, Anthony, we have our first question. Hey, Anthony, what are we doing?
Nice.
God damn.
Nice.
But yeah, so
we're doing these things,
Who
and
uses
it's like,
Master Chief
hey,
as their profile?
I don't even
photo?
know what I was talking about.
well, we're gonna say how a lot of it's out of pocket.
Yeah,
We
I
go
was
in,
on
and
point.
it was good.
Oh yeah, we promote the panel itself. It's like, hey, this is the day, here's the time. It's not posted on any convention's social media or Fan Expo was the last one. At least they at least put it on their website.
Yeah, we honestly get very little advertising on average, and it's kind of one of those things where whatever room a convention is willing to give us, if they advertise it, we can pretty much fill that room.
Yes.
The thing is, like, we're filling it without them.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
the other thing.
And okay-
As long as it's not like if it can accommodate up to 300 people, generally speaking, we
Got
can fill that room.
But
easy
now
peasy.
imagine what would happen if they put us in a main room
right,
and promoted us.
right.
Mhm.
It'd be
Yeah.
huge. It'd be amazing. So yeah, we're trying to just
Be
get some
fantastic.
more accommodations because we're also now no longer just becoming fans. Like we're not longer just
We're
a
not
fan
fans
panel.
doing panels.
We're
Yeah.
professionals.
Yeah,
right
we're
there.
like we're going to conventions to do this panel. We're
Mhm.
not just like, hey, I'm going to this convention. Let me try this. Like
Mhm.
this is becoming professional.
Yeah, and I
We're
think
trying to get respected.
that's kind of where the shift happened because it was just us going to a convention together, and then we're like, hey, if we can, do you guys want to do improv D&D at this convention? We'll reach out and see if we can get a panel. Then it was like, well, we're all going anyways,
Yeah.
right? And that was the thing. We're all going anyways. Then it started becoming more of us going and being like, hey, do you guys want us back? Our show was XYZ successful. And then it's like, oh, okay, cool. So then we went back, and now it's getting to the point that it's like, well, we've gotten a little bit older. We've paid so much out of pocket. I mean, we have jobs and we have lives. And it's like, yeah, we would love to do this, but we need accommodations to do it.
Yeah, especially then if people want us from further out
Yeah, that's
than our
a
home
big
base.
thing.
That's a lot. It's a lot to drive. It's a lot to travel, and it's like, hey, those hotels now aren't cheap either. Especially if you get some of these conventions that have bigger names, they have
Yeah.
bigger hotels.
Mhm.
Those hotels.
Yep.
Last year for ACEN, I spent $1,000 on a
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah. They
Yeah.
charge a lot to be
Yeah.
right next to the convention center. So like, it's just it's tough. Like, cause we it's not like we can do a whole bunch of big conventions with and do these shows at very expensive hotels
Mhm.
multiple times a year. It's just not feasible.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we're providing a
Like,
service for them.
Just on our own dime,
Mhm.
of course.
Yes.
Yes, and that's the other thing. Compensation, right? Fair compensation.
This chat, my chat on my phone isn't locked. Someone have it that they can read it. I can.
Oh, yeah.
pull
Add it
and-
up.
Jared's got it.
Thanks, Jared.
This is from
Adele.
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 Adele. Ah.
Words are hard.
It became less of a hobby, more of a job, which I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of conventions are unfortunately not equipped to handle. Hopefully, as
No.
more conventions up their game, others will follow.
Yeah, and like we're okay with that
Mhm.
because
Well,
we're.
It
Here's
comes
the
with
thing.
the territory to some degree.
I do want to correct one thing. For us, it's still very much is also still a hobby.
Well,
There's
yeah,
still,
this-
we
this-
still have love and
it's a
passion,
passion
to go
project.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
and do this. We would love to be entertainers.
Right.
Going out
Mhm.
making D&D content, video game.
But like I
just
said,
entertainment
turning your
content in
hobby
general.
into a job is not a bad thing. Like,
No,
that's
not at all.
That's a career.
And,
That's what I've been able to do with my current career. I'm
Mhm.
happy.
well, and
Yeah,
and so
lucky.
for us, it's still very much is still a hobby, but it is a job, and it's a job we love to do. We
Yeah.
love to go out, and we love people being like, we love the show, we loved you guys, we're coming back, we want to see more, etc. But it's like, okay, if the convention wants that to happen, it's not like we're asking thousands of dollars to do it. We're asking for
Just get us there and
get us there and
and give
pay
us a
for a
ticket.
ticket to go in,
Yeah.
so we can do this for you.
Yeah.
And not every convention even does that, which doesn't make sense to me because it costs them nothing to do that.
Yeah.
And they're
Well, let
probably
me put it
already
this
doing
way.
that for like celebrities.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Well, and the other thing is too is that unlike celebrities or like guest singers or whatever the case may be, all of those people not only are like probably getting their accommodations paid, but they are also just being paid in general. All things considered, we're like a very economical alternative to like a traditional celebrity show. Yeah, like
yeah, the celebrity is
Are you
probably...
saying we're the store brand celebrity?
wow. I'm
We
just
are
saying.
we are discount critical.
Yeah. No, we're
Discount
the
critical.
discount 20-sided.
Yeah, we are
Oh, no.
Walmart. We are Walmart brand 20-sided tavern.
Sided Tavern is already like discount critical role, man.
But so, and the thing though is like I understand a celebrity is bringing in, like if a celebrity goes there, it's going to cause a bunch of people to go there. We're
Correct.
still kind of at the place where sometimes we can get some people to go to it.
Mhm.
But I can say like if we didn't go to Anime Central, a lot of the people that do enjoy us and that do follow us,
Mhm.
they're still going to go to Anime Central.
Yeah.
They're not going to not go because of it.
But here's the other thing: is like we are also selling like an experience. So many of those people, this was their first ASEN. This was the first time seeing our show. This is the first time they went there, and they were having their ups and downs. Like every convention, you'd have your ups and downs. I didn't like this. I like this. I went to this convention. This convention did it better, etc. They're having their ups and downs. They saw the show and were like, "I'm gonna come back for you guys." Like,
Yeah,
Or it's like, hey,
I heard so many of those.
so
at
many
Anime
of those
Central.
this time at Anime Central, and it was just incredible.
Yeah, and
Like,
a lot of people too saying it's like, hey,
warm feeling.
this was the first ASEN I went to, and I wasn't sure about coming back next year, but you guys solidified that, yeah, I will come back next year. So while we might not be helping a convention go now, or like go that day, we're maybe helping them come again next year.
Retention.
Adele just posted, honestly, you guys are better than 20-Sided Tavern. Thank you.
Oh,
I went last year or the year before when they were in Chicago, and while fun, nowhere near as fun as Improv D&D.
Yeah,
They're just
I
gassing
did
on
so
it.
many of my
So,
photo
no.
shoots to see you guys at ASIN 20.
Say it again.
She skipped so many photo shoots to see us at ASIN 2024 and 25.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was funny because when they brought up 20-Sided Tavern,
You know,
when we were there,
Oh.
last year,
Oh no.
they came up at 20-Sided Tavern. They came last year or something, and they brought them up, and I was like, "Who the hell is that?" I was like, "I don't even know who that is."
I don't even know who
Yeah.
you are.
To be fair, I don't know like anything about Critical Role either, except the actual actors themselves. Like, I've only seen a good handful of their content, which is good. It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Just
They're-
watch season 2. It's the best. It starts from episode.
Oh, and then of
level
course Amazon Prime had
Legends of Vox.
Yeah.
Vox Machina, and I've watched the whole thing. I'm totally caught
Yeah.
up on that.
So, despite it all, though, because I've at least seen some stuff from 20-Sided Tavern just because I was curious, because it was the closest thing to what we do. But we are, for all intents and purposes, like a comedy show
Mhm.
Yes.
generally.
Yeah.
20-Sided Tavern is not that.
It is a Dungeons and Dragons show that's
Yeah.
sometimes funny.
Right, yes. It's funny on occasion, but that's not like its main genre.
Who's the people that went to Gen Con?
What do you mean? The people that went to Gen Con?
There
People
was
that
no
went to
group
Gen.
there.
There was another D&D group that went to not Gen Con. Was it the other one? The one where we did the stuff with Kelsey?
That was a Gen Con.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Oh, those were just people from Baldur's Gate. They just had their
No,
own
no.
show.
there was the other group. Remember, like the space clown guy.
Oh, Legends of Evantris.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's that group?
oh, were they
is that,
there?
Is that their
Apparently,
group's
yeah.
name?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
No.
like all you
I
probably
have.
have seen a lot of their memes online. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're D&D
yeah.
themed of like
I
some
cast
sort of-
gun, prepare to be God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tropical
exactly
Clown,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
They
gonna have
were
to
there-
show you that like
You-
after this.
But we checked them at Gen Con because they were there and they
doesn't
were
seem like
offering like autographs for like $90.
I do remember that part.
Dang.
Yeah.
That ain't cheap.
And then there
No,
was also
it
my
was
brother,
not
my
cheap.
brother, and me. Those guys.
yeah.
But they had like no one
Adventure
at
Zone.
their
Adventure Zone,
thing
Okay.
because not no one. They didn't fill the room
I-
that they got. They
I
had like half.
Real quick, I don't think I'd ever personally do autographs, nor do I think anyone would really want them, to be honest. But if we did do
Groovy,
autographs, If
Think
we
we had a
if we
table?
did do autographs, how much do people think is fair for an autograph?
Jared has always had a good philosophy for this
Yeah.
that I always would like to go by.
So my philosophy is this: I picked this up from another voice actor and from Yaya Han. Basically, photos and autographs are free, but if you want to buy something from us and then get it signed, just pay for the price of the item you want. To
Yeah, so
purchase.
like if you have a table full of prints,
yeah,
Mhm.
you're buying the print and then I'll just autograph it.
yeah.
Correct.
And if you just have something that you want signed, we'll just sign it.
Yeah.
I'm-
I guess down the line, yeah, we might want to charge, but again, I'm not going to be charging $80 for an autograph.
Yeah, no.
well, I mean,
At
unless
most, we'd probably charge like $50,
Yeah.
and
I
that's like
wonder-
a combo.
I wonder then how many autographs, like how much money goes to the convention then for an autograph, or does it all go to the actor?
well,
it
no,
might
they
be a
take
percentage.
a cut.
Yeah,
for
it's-
sure, they take a cut. I don't know what that would be though.
It might be a 10-20% cut. Oh, yeah.
No idea. Yeah, I mean, that's something we don't have to worry about right now.
Are you sure?
Standard anime VA prices are, I can't see because there's a stupid emoji. There we go. VA prices are $40 at the moment. I feel like anything over that is overpriced as someone that has paid for autographs.
Yeah, I would think like $30 is like a reasonable amount to be like, okay, you know, like for the amount of time that I'm interacting with you as a fan, which is very little for that matter, it's like, okay, I don't want to price gouge you just because you wanted to come and see, like, in this case it'd be like me, but it's just like I just like some of these people are charging like $150 or something.
Well, and
There's
what?
usually
And
the
I'm
big
like,
ones.
this is
And it's usually the people that are like
crazy.
retired and this is how they make their money now.
Oh my god, they already have so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, William
Well, here's the-
Shatner.
Here's the thing that we've always kind
This
of
is the one
prided
shot.
ourselves on
Color
making
post.
our stuff like as cheap as
As
possible.
accessible
Yes.
as possible, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
accessible is a better word. I
Right.
mean, this is why he's in the chair.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like, here's the thing: if certain people like
He's in the
want,
Master Yoda
if,
chair.
if certain people like want to support us in what we do,
Mm-hmm.
just donating normally is like totally fine. But I don't see it as like, oh, hey, now we're popular, let's start price gouging people for autographs.
No.
Like, if you want to give us money, like that's just a thing
That's what the
people
Patreon is
do.
for.
Yeah,
That's what
Patreon.
people do.
Just do that.
Like,
Yeah, just support the Patreon.
like I don't understand.
You don't need to pay us for our autograph. You can
$3 a month.
Yeah.
And we'll give you stuff for it.
Yeah.
No kidding.
If
Um,
honestly, we're paying you in content.
yeah, we pay you and we send you stuff.
If you're not giving me attention like the voice of Rivali did, then you shouldn't have super high prices, in my opinion. That
Well,
was
right,
Rivali.
and you know, like if you're actually taking time to talk to people for a little while, you know, you're personalizing things as much as you can. You know, the real genuine people that you can tell really care about their fans. You know, okay,
Yeah.
you know, fair
And
enough.
like all of the cast of Critical Role, they charged each of them all the same price, which I thought was really respectful. Like Matt Mercer wasn't more expensive than other
yeah,
people.
I do
It
respect
was
that.
it was like $80 for a signature, and I was like, for all the cast of Critical Role, for all the work they do, I think $80 is pretty reasonable.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually.
And you know, like they're gonna sit there and they're gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
And they did talk.
Here's
to
the
people I
other
watched.
thing, and I will say this now. I personally will have an item, like when autograph signing comes, I will personally have a limit per
Oh,
person.
yes, absolutely.
Before they have to go to the back.
Before they
Yes.
have to like go to the back of the line,
fuck,
or
fuck people who come up with an entire wagon of stuff to
I
sign.
ain't signing a whole ass wagon for one
go to the
guy.
back
You
of the
give
line
us a
immediately.
Funko Pop of us to sign, I am throwing that Funko Pop in the garbage. Do not make Funko Pops of us, please.
No.
I mean, you can
No,
make
they
you
can
can make
make
Funko
Funko
Pops.
Pops.
Yeah, what is this? What is this really weird like?
All right,
specified-
You tell me if someone makes a custom Funko Pop of you and gives it to you as a gift. You're
Okay,
not
I will keep it if it's a custom, but if it's like a mass-produced, like from the actual company,
Isn't that such a huge honor?
Yeah, why?
it's an honor. But
Here's the thing.
I
If
don't like them.
you
They
can
stare into my
skip
soul.
Jared, go to me. I'll forge a signature. I promise. Well, we'll sign off on it. You're good.
I want a 5 set. That's
Oh,
got all
wow.
5 of us.
Yeah. So I guess the voice of Rivali also was like helping some dude like hook him up with like a VA project he was working on. If I'm reading
Oh.
this right. Like wow. By the
Yeah.
way, that's crazy. By the way,
And he was
people
selling
just-
candles on the side.
Yeah.
It was his
When
wife's
people-
candles too.
when-
That's
when-
What a
amazing.
what a Chad.
Oh my god, that's so funny. But yeah,
Wait,
like
Rivali, like Rivali's Gale?
Yeah,
Like,
ravioli.
Ravioli?
Yeah.
Oh my
Ravioli,
god,
Dude. All we had to do was say ravioli.
my dude, that's my guy. I love ravioli.
So one of the
You like
questions,
the asshole?
one of
I
the
love
questions that
ravioli.
we were
That
asking
explains so much.
ourselves was, at what is our next realistic milestone
yeah.
that we can achieve relatively soon
so
that will make us feel like we've made it?
So I said getting stopped enough where like it almost is like we couldn't just normally be on the show floor.
It becomes annoying.
It becomes like a hassle to get around and get through the show floor. That would be like the next, because I don't see that being terribly far off. I mean, not that I don't mind people coming up and saying hi and doing stuff. Do that for sure. I love that. But it's like when would it be like where we're causing a crowd of people
Yeah.
to like go around us, asking us questions with things? That would be insane. And then it's like, okay, now the convention's like, all right, you guys can't be like walking around the show.
You need security.
Well,
It's-
it's interesting because one of the people from Critical Role was at Amkia like 2 years ago
Mhm.
and was just chilling, walking around the vendors hall, and I'm like, okay, she was definitely getting talked to at least sometimes, but it's like, okay, well, clearly people aren't bothering her enough, like all the time, to where it's like, she's not walking the floor. So
Yeah.
I feel like it'd probably take quite a while, quite
Yeah.
a level of
Because some people might be
notoriety.
too shy to say anything.
Oh, a lot
too.
of people.
Mhm.
Are
A
too
lot
shy.
of
And
people
so when I
are.
went to Madison,
Kinda
I know I'm too
Yeah.
shy sometimes to say hi to
I,
someone.
I saw her, but it's like, am I gonna go up and say hi? No.
when I went to Madison
No.
Expo,
Can't do
the
that.
voice of Master Roshi was exploring
Yeah.
Artist Alley
He
by
was just
himself.
out.
He was just out there. There was
Out
no
in the
one,
wild?
there was no one at his panel at his booth, so he was like, "I'm just gonna go check out some of the artists."
Yeah.
Oh wow.
All right. so-
Master Roshi was Master Roshiing all over someone's artwork in the
When
artist
people
alley.
give
He's
you
like,
fan art,
"Oh!"
okay, Kelly says when people give you fan art, maybe.
fan art, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
we've kind of started. We've
I
got
mean-
a couple things.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We already do have a
We have
couple
two,
of fan art
but
stuff.
but still, I mean, those are people we know and are close to.
Yeah, if it's like after a panel, we do not know these people.
Yeah, like
Who
someone
are you?
completely random. That was definitely be a good one. What if it is just our logo, or if it is, or one of the inside
Lenny
jokes. Someone drew,
Someone drew
Lenny,
Mothra.
Someone drew Mothra. Someone drew the Tokonauts. Anything like that.
God, please
Yeah.
don't draw the token.
Actually, do draw the coconuts.
No,
Give it
please.
specifically to Dan.
Please don't.
Have him sign it.
He's
Heaven's
manifesting. He's manifesting.
Jared,
his-
what
his
is
nightmare?
What is
Seven.
your? Oh, yeah. If someone just gives us the sevens of
7.
It's like Sesame Street. Somebody gives us like a foam 7.
You know, okay, so funny enough too, it's a really interesting coincidence that 7 is my favorite number.
Fuck you.
I love 7. 7's great.
That one guy that came up to me, like, I think it was here,
It was for the fighter.
yeah,
I
the, for the
figured number
fighter.
21.
I knew he
screwed.
had the 7 in his coat pocket. He's just like, I've got something special. I saw that. I was just like, okay, I'm definitely choosing
Okay,
him.
people like hunting down these two to get picked before the show.
No,
though.
that's the thing.
Like-
He didn't hunt me down. I just saw him pull out the 7 as he was in conversation with somebody else.
Yeah, and okay, so like one thing I'm just gonna say too is like when people we got someone
7 is my nickname for my car. That's Kelly.
lucky number 7.
Someone needs to cosplay as a Sesame Street count and bring you a 7. Let's go.
One member of Quest Pro. Two members of Quest Pro. Three members.
Jared, what is
Seven.
your next we've made it moment? What's your yeah? what
Like
are
the
your next-
closest or
the
the
closest,
next?
the closest.
Okay,
one.
the
What's your,
closest.
the next most reasonable thing.
Most reasonable, I would kind of have to go with Dan, where it's like people are actually noticing us more out in the wild
Okay.
and on the floor
Sure.
itself.
Which happened quite a bit in Anime Central just in general.
Yeah.
Well, it always happens quite a bit to
Yeah.
me and Anthony at least.
I mean, but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
we are usually wearing a giant sign that says Improv
Mhm.
Quest Bros.
Yeah.
Improv D&D.
Also, you two are the main people
Faces.
of the
Mhm.
show,
True.
so
So for me, if and this isn't my milestone, but it would have to be with us not having anything and people just be like, "I remember you."
yeah.
And it did happen to me once. I talked about it on the Improv D&D podcast, where I was at a convention. No one was there. It was just me and Kelly and her brother. we didn't have a panel. I was dressed as the Burger King, and someone was like, "Hey, you're one of the guys from Improv D&D," and then took a photo with me. And like that was my like, wow. I would like for that to happen more
Yeah.
consistently. But
Kelly says you got recognized at the mall. Maybe more of that, you know?
I got recognized at the mall.
Well, we got
Doesn't even remember this guy.
Never mind, maybe it was a con, Lamau.
I think that was the con. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then that happened. Me and Michael went to the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the
I
guys,
remember we talked about that too.
and we went to get some food.
Yep.
And the chick at the cash register was like, "It's okay." She took our order. She's like, "Really weird question. Did you guys do improv D&D at the recent convention?" And we started
just bust out laughing.
We started laughing. And I was like, "Yeah."
No
She's like, "I
way.
thought I recognized you specifically because I thought, like," she's like, "You're the DM, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And I just thought it was so funny. She was friends with someone. Wasn't she
Yeah.
friends with
Eggman.
She was friends
Yes.
with the rogue Eggman.
So
Which small world, right?
That's just crazy.
another milestone would be we actually start selling our merch at conventions.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't need to be at the convention. If they just start selling, that'd be great. I don't care if it's at the convention or not.
One of the brat sellers at Bristol Renaissance Fair went with us the Saturday of ASIN, so it was probably her.
That's exactly who it was.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure was, which was crazy. That was so out of pocket,
Like, of all the
unexpected.
concession stands you could have gone.
Yeah,
I
of course
know.
it was the one
That's
where
so
the person
crazy.
recognized us, and then it was just
And I said to Dan, I said if I wasn't there,
No
as a
one
witness,
would've believed
No one
me.
would have believed him.
nobody would have
We would have
believed.
called
I still don't
bullshit.
believe
This moment now is when people
this
would have
proves
believed
it.
me.
I
This moment now is when people would have been like, "Oh my God, you were
yeah,
serious."
and I wouldn't have believed him because of the unlikelihood of it if I wasn't literally right there.
Yeah, and now you
If you
have
had come
someone
back
to
and
back
told
it
me
up.
that, I'd have just
now
been
we
like,
have
no
3
way.
people.
Liar.
proving it.
All right, Matthew. So you're behind the camera.
AV Tech.
Yeah.
You are not seen almost ever.
Yeah.
Besides when we do like a group photo and we make you be in the photo as well.
Yeah.
And
So
you're
what-
never
Seems
smiling.
me.
So what would be your what would be your personal like? Hey, we're doing it. We're making it moment.
I don't know actually.
Matthew.
When we
had
hire
empty.
somebody else to do
When
the
Matt
AV,
doesn't have to do it.
Yeah.
you go up, we have like some random person doing it, and he's just like, finally.
Well,
Finally.
because I know since you're not on camera all the time too, so our partnership with the Sneaky Spooters, they're working on, this is kind of a little tease, they're working on an animated like short to help
Of us.
promote us promoting them. And so I told the video is us. You can see on our channel is us 4 playing it. But I was like, well, we have 5 of us. Matt is usually behind the camera, and she still animated you into it as then being like we're playing the game, and then the spiders steal the cards, and then we're all like, where are they? The spiders. The camera turns. The spiders are all with you behind the camera.
Of course
Yeah.
they are.
And they're
What
all
is
like,
that? What is that?
What the fuck is that?
You just like, that's just Matthew.
Yeah.
You explained it. His entire job in the entire Quest Bros is to give us hell. That's just Matt. Don't you smile, you little shit.
Yeah, the one time Matthew smiles when he's causing chaos.
even in animated form.
Why is it whenever you are happy, we are in pain?
Because he enjoys it.
Yes, I enjoy causing pain.
God damn it.
He's like, any more pain you guys go through, it's that's when I make it.
Oh boy, someone's
Pretty much.
suffering in here?
I will say when we get to Michael's, Michael like changed what mine was. Like I was like, oh, that's actually more like feasible semi soon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, last chance. Do you got any idea? It doesn't have to be the same level as us, because again, I know you're
Yeah.
not as seen as us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When Matt gets fan art.
If Matt gets recognized,
Fuck.
He's already been recognized by Sneaky Spooters.
Yeah. No, I'd be okay not being recognized.
that's why he's behind the camera.
This guy's so funny.
That's why I'm not here.
It's like fucking
Yeah, the
fades
meme
out.
piece. Fades out.
No, I don't got it.
It's okay, Matt. It's all right.
If you
bud.
think of something,
Yeah.
let us know.
Just put it in the Discord.
Or just feel free to interrupt us as we're talking.
Man.
Gave him
probably
all the
gonna-
power.
It's probably going to be me.
Michael.
So yeah, my thought was, and I believe I had two. The one I remember off the top of my head though is when a convention, and this is more of like just like the enterprise side of things, is like when a convention, beyond just our accommodations or travel or whatever, actually pays us like any amount at all. I think that's another big milestone, because that is yet to happen. But when it
Yeah.
does happen, that will mark a pretty game-changing moment where it's like,
Wow.
oh, okay, well,
Gen Con did.
but we had to
yeah,
ask
but
to be paid.
that's not
We
the
didn't
thing.
exactly break
Because
even
we
on
didn't.
that one.
It's not like we were.
Because anyone
like,
can put a price on it.
admission is not quite what I'm counting. Just because it's like, okay, but like that was to cover basically your badges,
Mhm.
or because you or whatever your hotel expense. It's not like, I'm talking about the point when we basically not only break even to a convention, but we actually like come out ahead after
Yeah.
doing a convention.
Like, we're in the green.
right, and then the
So
other
they
one.
pay for our accommodations and then pay on top of
Mhm.
that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe my other one was when a convention actually pays to have us flown out somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be
Yes.
nice. When we go
Um,
somewhere, when we were able to expand outside the Midwest.
Like, because we were talking about like if we ever did like a crazy big one, like, you know, Comic-Con, LA or New York or something like that, and they were like, yeah, we'll fly you guys out for the weekend, you know, we'll pay for your accommodations, come to a show with us. You know, I think that would be pretty, like, and just in general, like if we were invited to like any of the top like 2 or 3, you know, conventions in the country, that would be pretty huge. Yeah, but you know,
It would be nice to see.
sky's the limit.
It would be nice to see further west than the Dakotas.
Yeah.
Aren't the Dakotas technically still part of the Midwest? Or is that...
Yeah, don't
Mm.
remind me. It depends.
Not really.
It
Wasn't
depends
sure
who
if it
you
stops
ask.
at Minnesota or anyway, it's not.
It
important.
depends on who you ask.
So for me, as I was thinking, as you all were talking about it too, like I feel like a lot of the things that I had last time have recently happened.
Yeah.
Where if it was, oh, okay, I want to be recognized outside. Someone took a photo with me. It's like, oh, okay, I want people to buy our merch. We've had a couple people buy our merch. Oh, I want someone to like pull me aside and like invite us to a convention. This is now happening, and
You're running out of options.
and it's like, okay, now what is realistically next? And that's the thing is
Yeah.
like,
$1 million. No.
I don't know what the next fully realistic thing is, but it's not. If I'm at step
$100,000.
If I'm at step 8, I don't know what step 9 is. I can see step like 12 and 15.
Yeah, it's getting hard to know exactly when and how things are gonna go, because now we're getting to the point where opportunities are getting levied at us that it's like we didn't expect this. Like we didn't expect like to go from like 0 to 60 in
Well,
this
And here,
convention, but like
here's the
sometimes
thing.
it just happens.
Is Michael saying we didn't expect that? Maybe it's because of how quick it's happening.
Yeah,
Like
no,
deep down, we were like, yeah,
exactly.
we'll take it. Yeah, we did not expect it to happen.
But it was actually Michael when we were talking last year. Michael was like, realistically, like you guys in the next 5 years could be doing this for a living.
Yeah, well, and that's true.
That's the idea.
I still hold to that, but it's just a thing where it's like, of all the things one would never expect to get approached, have somebody in the audience who went to our show happen to be like one of the like core team members of a different convention, and for them to basically be like, oh yeah,
Let's fly him out.
let's basically roll out a red carpet for you guys, come to our convention. That does not just happen ever. Like that's like such a random shot in the dark kind of thing. Not even I would expect that to happen. I expected it to be more like, oh, somebody saw our show like after we uploaded it or something, or heard about us just randomly and just decided to reach out to us via email or something. That's something more what I would expect. We got some.
Kelly put Quest of the Midwest, South Quest, Quest to the West, Quest of the East. I'm workshopping those titles.
These are yeah. I don't know.
No, you're
That
cooking.
kind of-
You're
that
cooking with
cooking.
these.
That's what I was
Keep
saying.
cooking, or shut me up.
Quest goes
Jeez.
west if we.
Quest
Quest
goes
goes
west.
west.
Ah,
That's
yes.
a great title.
Everyone's favorite sequel, American Tail, Fievel Goes West.
So coming back to what Michael was saying, and if we've been talking around it, which I did get confirmation in email today that we are able to start promoting it. So this is the first, I guess, of actually official announcement of it, but it's not going to be on social media until I hear back from some people. But at Anime Central on our Saturday show, a woman came up to me during the show while I'm standing in the back watching, and they're like, "Hey,
Something like that.
I really like the show. I like your energy, and I like what your group is able to provide. Would you be interested in coming to our convention in Indiana in 3 weeks?" And I was like, "Oh, send me the details. We'll figure it out." And I get the email. She's like, "Hey, great show. I sent clips that I took of your show to my boss, who's the owner.
Rough.
He loved it.
Again,
I love
oh,
you. You gotta say this part because this is my favorite line from the
He's a
email.
big
Hold
fan.
on, dude.
He's a big fan of 9/11 jokes and moth.
It's like
And I was
you-
like, no fucking
Because
way.
Like
Madness,
they
we
said
could
something
conjure.
mad libbing here.
We
They were
will
like
send Mothra into the Twin Towers.
mad libbing a little
Mothra
bit.
into the Twin
They were
Towers.
like that's just his sense of humor, and I started laughing when I read that. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
So then she asked,
Have we made it? Have we peaked?
No,
At that
we have,
point-
we have not. We have not. That's the
Jared,
I know.
we're still at the base of the mountain.
no, see, he said we were on the first floor. We keep breaking through the ceiling, keep getting to the next levels. So
Well, I
She
have
asked-
Sledgehammer.
she asked, they're like, all right, what needs to happen to get you guys to come to our convention? And so I gave them 3 options: one unrealistic, one realistic, and one just like bare minimum.
Yeah, but give them
And she was like, "This is all great. I forwarded that email or that information to my boss, and I'm gonna call him tonight." I get an email the next day. Here are the answers. You can have an improv D&D on Friday and Saturday. We will give you tickets to the show. We'll pay for your hotel, and we'll give you a travel
Voucher.
voucher
Vouchers,
stipend.
Stipend.
We also would be interested in you helping host panels and other events. And there's another point that I'm forgetting, but those were the biggest ones.
Yes.
So now, a con it's literally invited us and is paying for us to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, more emails were sending back and forth. And to just today or yesterday, it was yesterday, they officially confirmed that we will be headlining on the main stage for this convention. This convention being WeebCon Indiana.
Yes. And not only that, they asked us to
Help moderate
Yeah.
celebrity voice acting panels as well. So we got a couple those I won't share, but we've got a couple panels that different combinations of us will be helping.
I'm excited.
So this is what I'm talking about. I never predicted it would go this way
so quickly.
unexpectedly.
If anything, I was like, oh, cool, they'll pay for the hotel and tickets. And then
And we
that's
go
what all I
and do
was,
our
honestly.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
then
I
we
was
go and
expecting.
do our
Right,
show.
right.
We do our show, that's it. And they're like, hey, no, we'll give you that. A little more. Hey, do you guys want to hang out with celebrities for a couple hours? Okay, sure. And then also, we want to. Do you guys? We're gonna put you on the main stage, and we're gonna be the head. You're gonna be the headline. Some of the headliners, and you're gonna be all over the place. We'll put you on social media and on the website.
Oh, that reminds me.
Here's
Matt,
the other thing. What if we get
Hatsune
people
Miku's going to be there.
from see
Hatsune Miku. They actually wanted us to moderate her
here-
concert.
No, just like a panel with.
Oh, the
voice
panel. Sorry.
here's the crazy thing is like
Hatsune Miku.
what if some people
Is
that
that
were at
cool?
Gen Con
There's 7 people watching, by the way.
awesome.
Oh, this is a
Seven
reference to
or
something.
7, damn it. Why?
Gen Con. The people at Gen
Okay,
Con.
some people from Gen Con turn around and they're like, hey, we're going to WeebCon and we know these guys.
Mhm.
And they come to this.
Yeah, so that was the one trick thing. We did tell them too. It was like, hey, I know you saw such an amazing turnout at
Oh, Space is here.
Hi Space.
Hey, Space.
Welcome. We know you saw such an amazing turnout at Anime Central. However, we have a following in.
Report Space.
We have a follow. You can't. He's a moderator.
Wait, really?
And you're not.
Amazing.
Ban him.
We have a following in Chicago and in the Milwaukee Chicago space. We have a following there. They know to come to these things. They know us. They want to come to these shows. We're going to be coming to Indiana. We're not from this area. People might not know who we are. So there is a chance that we're not going to perform as well because we're not as known. And they were just like, that's fine. Main stage for you. I'm like,
Main stage.
What?
Duly
Oh.
Westworld presents Improv D&D explicit.
yeah, it's also
It's
also an 18+ panel.
They saw our message and were
Yep.
like, duly noted and ignored.
They just
Yeah, and
knew.
approved.
They just approved. We were approved on terrorism jokes and moth fucking jokes and hits. They knew to put explicit immediately. But you know what? It's accurate because our shows get pretty explicit.
We're gonna get taken down, Michael. You can't say WeebCon saw our terrorism and is bringing us to Indy.
I told them to put us as explicit. I gave them the option. I was like, you can
Hey,
put us as explicit. We could be
just-
family friendly.
Disclaimer, the
Just in our
Quest Bros
defense.
does not endorse terrorism.
In fact, what's the opposite of it? We're activists against it.
Hey, what do we always
Heroism.
say? What do we always say to our audience?
Hmm.
If
Yes,
however
If
the show goes,
sucks, it's
it's
your
your
fault.
if the show is about terrorism, it's the audience's fault.
fault.
It's
100%
your
was.
fault, and it 100% was. I take no responsibility for anything the audience says.
Including pissing on Jesus Christ.
No, Jesus was fine.
Jesus
Oh,
was fine.
Jesus was fine.
It was the mage that got peed on.
Right.
By the cowboy.
Oh, yeah, Arthur Morgan pissed off.
Tahiti!
Tahiti was his safe word.
Um,
Tahiti!
So many,
Yeah,
so many jokes
He
about
did a
it.
very good impression, by the way.
He was great.
I forgot to compliment him on
So there was a point, and we're getting off track, but there was a
that.
point.
Jesus condoned it. Yeah, fair.
There was a point, no joke. I was like, is this the voice actor of Arthur Morgan?
No.
Like their
But it was
like,
good. It was really
accents
good.
Scarily close.
was like almost perfect.
maybe they were from the South, so it was just natural for them.
And I was like, there was a solid second. I was like, is this them? I was like, there's no way, right?
Jesus condoned it.
Yeah, that's what it said.
So funny.
So,
He
yeah,
also
so that
did
is the news for everyone hearing now.
Yes.
WeebCon Indy in Indianapolis
Has
from
officially invited.
Yes.
has officially invited us, and we will officially be a part of their convention, headlining, hosting some celebrity panels. I think we got 4 celebrity panels that we'll be hosting. Not all of us at once. It's
No.
duo.
We'll also be
combinations.
holding hands.
I had to
They-
look up Arthur's VA after the show to make sure it wasn't him.
See, I'm not the only one. I was like so
no,
That dude was way
convinced.
too young.
I've
It's
played.
very
I have
close.
played a lot of Red Dead Redemption too.
They're everywhere.
You don't want to know. I could tell,
Oh.
but he's good. He's a good
Yeah.
impressionist.
So yeah, we'll be at WeebCon. What are the dates?
6th through the 8th.
6th to the 8th.
One
June
point
6th.
June, yeah. So like in 2 weeks.
One point they made to the guys is I looked at them up and they actually do WeebCon throughout the country. It seems like.
Oh yeah, there's a second one they have.
Yes, they have one in Texas, which means the potential for us to go to Texas and perform
International.
The
What? Wait.
is
that-
high.
That's in not.
That's not
international is like a whole other ballpark.
That's
I
just
got-
national.
That's national, Daniel.
Statewide. No, wait,
No.
hold on.
You-
Too small.
Cross-
Lie down before you hurt yourself.
But no, yeah, it's a good point. The
Yeah.
odds of them inviting us to come, if they really enjoyed it and what we can do, the odds of them inviting us to Texas
Domestic.
isn't
There you go.
No, don't finish that.
unreasonable,
Katie
unrealistic. That convention though is in April, so we have to see how it lines up with other things.
That is true.
But also, I mean, if they're gonna pay for us to go to there, or it's that or C2E2,
Yeah.
we'll probably be going to WeCon Texas. Instead. Yeah.
Would I go to Texas for money?
Violence.
Of course I would.
Kelly, why'd you finish your sentence?
Huh?
She said violence.
Nice.
After your domestic.
Domestic.
That's
Yeah.
Cursed.
her humor is peak.
Yeah. So, was there anything else about the convention that I wanted to share?
Do I look like I could be bribed with money to go to Texas? Yes,
Yes,
you do.
yes.
Well, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely
right.
right.
Honestly,
You bring the money.
The thing is like Texas is. I would just go to
I hate that
Texas.
show too.
Kelly's
Texas is
response.
huge.
It is
Sorry.
huge. This is Kelly's response.
She gets humor. Dog.
It's that
She
emoji.
gets humor.
All right. So, coming back on track a little bit.
Never.
Derailed.
I'm just thinking of some of the questions that were asked
Yes,
of me
please.
on Monday that I was like, oh, the guys would be here. That
Oh
was
yeah,
great.
if you guys have any questions you want to ask,
Yeah.
feel free to throw them in. We'll answer.
Yeah,
them.
kind of
Yeah,
like
I
how we
was
had
gonna
our
say,
Q&A during
whatever.
before the improv show.
Let's
You guys-
talk a little bit about that. Actually, let's bring that up first.
That was such a genuine fun experience to do. So man, I don't think we told you about this either.
Yeah.
So on Saturday before our show, no one was in the room an hour before, so we got in there. If our show started at 8, we were in there at 7.
Yeah.
Setting everything up, and
It takes
then
like 10 minutes to set up.
yeah, now we're getting really good at it. So then like 45 minutes before, there's a line already starting outside,
Mhm.
so we let people come in.
Yeah.
Friday show though, 30 minutes before, there was already 100 people in there. Amazing. So now Saturday was a little bit slower because there was a Dan
Don
panel happening right above us. There was a bunch of other stuff happening at that time, so it was a little
Good
slower.
show, by the way.
But eventually, like there were still like 100 people or
Yeah.
so,
I would say there's
maybe
about
even
100 people.
closer to 200 before the show started. And we were just sitting up there, and someone was just asking us questions, and we are like, "Oh yeah, let me answer your question. Oh yeah, that's a great question."
And then it just snowballed.
And
Whoa.
then, I asked, I was like, "Does anyone have any questions?" And then like
Yeah.
10, 15 hands went up.
Yep.
To
And-
be
and
fair,
as
a
soon-
lot of the questions were geared towards you.
And as soon as
Well,
we,
no, I tried to direct.
as soon as somebody as people started asking questions, I don't remember exactly when, but like at a certain point, I just sat down at one of the microphones and just started talking.
Yeah,
to
and
the
it became just like a Q&A panel.
Yeah.
And there was one woman who was so genuine, and she was asked, she was like, "Can you tell us a little bit more about your group, how you got started, and what other content you guys make?" And I was like, yes, I can. I
Yeah.
would love to tell you about that.
And I was like,
Finally!
and I was like, I'll give you two $20 after the show. I was like,
And then
I paid them.
there was another dude who I actually forgot to mention this before. He's like, "Hey, you guys just had like he was like trying not to like say it for us. He's like, "You guys recently just had like an improv D&D show that was kind of like really special and like different than others." And I was like, "What are you talking?" I was like, "The solo show, yes."
Yeah, what? I was like,
And I'm just like,
they-
we
they-
did not pay that man. By
Yeah,
the way.
they brought up that we had our solo show with the college group,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny Bone
Mafia.
Mafia.
I was like, "Oh my god, that means you're following us." Then
Yeah,
we do.
That's
Who are you? Who sent you?
crazy. Well, our fans are sometimes better at plugging our stuff than we are. I'm just like, that's crazy, but it happens.
The guy,
Sometimes I think they might be.
the guy who won the April Dice giveaway, when I messaged him being like, "Hey, you won," he was like, he had messaged being like, "Hey, I'm going to be there at ASEN." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Would you just like for me to just like hold on to them and I'll give them to you at ASEN?" He's like,
He's
"Yeah,
like,
that's great."
Yeah, save them.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
save the postage. So he comes early, and I was like, "Cool, here it is." He's like, "Oh, and I was like, "Yeah, like I'll probably promote it. I'll probably like point you out at one point and be like, oh, look at like we do these giveaways. He's one of our winners." He's like, "Oh, do you want me to like stand up and, like,
And
say
sell
something
it?
and
What a
sell
G,
it?"
by the way.
Bro,
What
He's like,
a
I'm,
G.
he's like, "I'm a professional wrestler, so like I'm good at like entertaining and being."
Yeah,
like, a hype man."
he's like I'm good at the acting and hyping it up and everything.
He felt like a major heel. Like, I could tell his character type was heel.
And
It was
he,
great.
He delivered.
So if you-
dude.
And he's like, and I'm right here.
So
in
and
the
I was like,
middle of the crowd.
and I was
what
like,
was really
damn.
funny. So during
He held it
the
up like a belt.
during the Q&A, I had mentioned it. I had mentioned the like giveaway stuff. We agreed. I told him, cool. He went and sat down. During the Q&A, I started talking about it, and he went to like stand up. I was like, no.
and
he was like, "Oh."
Anthony went, save it.
So I was like, save it.
So he was festering
The
it.
Saturday recording came out today, so go watch it. and I have timestamps, and there is like the sponsor part. So you'll watch it, and he's on cam. He's on screen where you can see him stand up.
I gotta say this part too. So we're doing this Q&A, and it's like 20 minutes before our show even starts. A staff member got like in trouble for not being at the door to moderate or whatever they do to check.
The 18 plus badges.
Yeah.
So she comes and closes the doors 20 minutes beforehand, and Anthony looked at me like, "What the hell?" And I looked at him and I was like, "You want me to like take care of it?" And he's like, "If you could."
I was like,
And-
"This isn't the panel. We haven't started."
And I walked out and I opened the doors and I like pushed them open and I go, "Hi," and she's like, sorry I'm late. They told me to rush down here, you know, blah blah blah. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm like, our panel's not for another 20 minutes. And they like looked in the room and they're like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, we're just here early," and then a bunch of people wanted to come in. We already checked all their for their wristbands too. We did that yesterday as well. And she's like, "Oh, then is like having them open like this fine?" I was like, "Yeah, until the show starts, and it doesn't start until 8:00." And she's like, "Okay." And I was like, "I don't know."
Because it looked like it was a panel. Well, while people
Yeah.
were coming in, I
Yeah.
had to say
Yeah.
multiple times, "This is not the panel. This
Yeah.
is not how
Yeah.
it will go."
I was
It
like,
is
do
not
we
us
look
sitting
like
up here
voice
talking.
actors
We,
to
we
you or
already
not?
had we already had so many. We already had
Yeah.
more than what would be normal for a panel.
For a
in the
normal
room.
panel, yeah.
Yeah.
So people already assumed like it's already a panel. People
already
are in here.
started.
It's
Not on
already
camera.
started, and we had to remind them multiple times.
Right there.
First off, no, this isn't the panel. No, it
Well, I guess
hasn't
it's supposed to
started.
acting.
No,
Oh, yeah.
like this is not even close. And many more people will be showing up
Yeah.
because XYZ is going on.
Okay.
They will,
Adele
like,
makes a
hold
good
on.
point.
Oh, no,
They
wait,
weren't
wait.
checking wristbands Friday either.
Yes. Okay. So about them not checking the wristbands thing. Okay. So I will give them clarification on that because there was a guy there to check the wristbands, but I literally told the guy, "I'll be here at the door. Don't worry about it because I'm taking numbers of people coming in, and we already had so many people lined up at the door, and I basically stayed outside the entire show
Mhm.
doing that." So like that's why it wasn't negligence on
Mhm.
his or the con's part. That was just something that I did because I for a lot of our cons I actually do that.
But something about that dude, though, he had mentioned to us. We were telling him, and we're like, "Oh yeah, we might fill the room." And he looked, and he was like, "You guys are gonna fill that room," and we fucking did.
yeah, he didn't
Take
think,
that,
he
random
didn't-
citizen.
He didn't think we were gonna fill the room. He thought we were gonna fill it the next day. He didn't anticipate how many people were gonna be showing up once the show had already started, because we only had maybe again like 100 people lined outside the door beforehand.
So we
But
had
after
100
that,
people.
after that, we got like another 200 people walking in. Like I had to stay out there the whole time because of how many people we
Mhm.
had coming in. But the second day, all the people were basically there by like 10 minutes of the show starting, so I didn't have to stand at the door anymore because they're all here. So yeah, that's kind of why.
So we had both days like over 400 unique people enter the room.
Yeah.
Day one, we had about 310 to 335 stay for the whole show. Day two, we had closer to 400, maybe a little change stay for the whole show.
Yes.
So over 400 people entered, 350 or 330 left the room Friday. Over 400 people entered, over 400 people left the room Saturday, which is some of our best numbers
Retention,
yet.
yeah.
No, we had a
Because
lot.
great
of people
retention.
show up.
I was using the
Well, our retention's always good. It's just that was the most quantity. That
I
we
was
had.
using the Friday retention as like an example. Like that's like I gave the rough. I even lowballed it.
Yeah.
80% retention. That's huge.
Oh,
Huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
By the way, I'll say our general retention for audience
I did
because
not think
usually we count that
Good
too. Our general audience retention rate is somewhere in the ballpark like 92%.
Yeah, it is
Like
in that
it's really
89%.
high. We
Adele,
generally don't have people leave.
Adele makes a fair point that is possible. The guy that said you're not going to fill that room seemed like he was only staffed for the free badge. to be honest.
Honestly, I wouldn't be
Probably.
surprised.
I
I never saw that
mean-
dude again.
Yeah, he walked by like maybe
He's probably dead.
3 times throughout the show, and it was just a check-in.
Saturday, the fire marshal did come in. I did
Yes.
see him.
Yeah, he was looking around and I was just like, oh
And
boy,
he,
here
he
we
did
go
a
again.
full sweep of the floor in like
Yup.
at the beginning after I had
Yup.
done my part, passed it to
They
him.
know now.
He
They
did
know
a
now to
sweep.
check.
Yeah. So that was really nice to see the fire marshal.
Was it the same fire marshal from CQ2?
Probably not.
Well,
No,
he was
a different
retired.
center.
Yeah, that guy was
Yeah.
retired.
All right, so going back again, we got off track, but
We do.
questions that people were asking us too at the con. A lot of people were just asking us about general like D&D questions, just like what are some funny stories, what are some funny moments,
What's
funny
your favorite
experience,
class?
what's your favorite class, what's your favorite thing, and it was stuff like that. And again, while they weren't nothing riveting, I did try to turn them towards about improv D&D just to keep things relevant towards us and let people know about us. But then when I was doing this on Monday, the stream, you guys were asking some great questions, and one that didn't come up that I wanted to throw out to all of us. Somebody asked, "What is your least favorite, and also then your favorite type of audience member?"
Well, there was anime magic.
Mhm.
That's the least favorite.
Yeah, that's the whole reason that we have to explain.
Yeah, we have to clarify.
that we want
Silly
answers. It's because they took two.
Yeah, they
serious.
gave
Yes.
serious ones. I don't know.
Oh, I can speak pretty earnestly, because even more so than the people who give serious answers, the serious answers just fall flat. That's different. But what really sucks is when someone is creepy.
Yeah.
Gives
Yes.
a creepy answer.
The child guy.
That makes you can feel everybody in the entire room get instantly uncomfortable by what they say,
Mhm.
and we just have to basically just roll right past it.
So I'm not even saying the people that come up to audition, but just like the people that are in the audience.
Mhm.
Oh, same same
It
applies.
is still same.
Because you'll still get people that'll say some weird stuff on occasion in the audience, and yeah, like it's just like some people just like don't like
They don't vibe.
they
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
they just don't quite like know how to read the room.
Yeah, what I said was the people, especially that are in the audience, that just like can't take the hint, where it's like, all right, cool, you shouted out a couple things, but now you keep shouting out the same thing, and it's not getting picked. It's no one's laughing at it.
Yeah.
Like, take the hint, stop it. There's people next to you that are annoyed, that I can visibly see are annoyed because you just keep yelling. And that's why I also started to say, it's like, be respectful. There are people here that are just here to watch a show.
Yeah, this isn't baseball. You know, you're not taking 3 swings at the same joke. Just just roll past it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as for like audience members, I never really have had any issue with any of our audience members per se.
Yeah, and they've been.
But it's like, what's your least favorite?
Even just like player type.
Honestly, the least favorite would have been like the people that are like just dead silent, like not laughing,
Oh,
not
yeah.
enjoying anything.
Gen Con.
Yeah, Gen Con is kind of what I think of, because they're giving us nothing to go off of. We're trying, because it's very audience participation,
Right.
and we do have an emergency to start using each other if it comes to that, but it really shouldn't ever come to that.
Right.
This is for them. This is for fun. This is something to kind of shoot the shit. So when they're so like unengaged, that's like, this is rough.
Mhm.
Like, and it's not just like, because I'm shameless kind of,
Yeah,
So-
but like if they're giving you nothing,
but if they're giving us nothing,
it's hard for you to.
I almost feel bad for them though, is what I'm saying. It's not embarrassing for me. I almost feel bad because I know this can be an enjoyable experience,
Yeah.
but they have to be willing to have fun.
Right.
They can't be like stick in the mud kind of personality. So I'm like, that would probably be my least favorite.
That's understandable.
But then from the aspect of like DMing, I'm like, I've always said that, like, I'm always telling them, don't pick kids, because kids are really hard. Well, first off, I don't want to put them on camera.
Yeah.
Out of respect.
Right.
And it's hard for them to have that much pressure on them.
Yeah.
That being said, the handful of times we have had kids on stage, it's always been a good time. It's always been a great time. But I've always had to kind of work it around them.
Yeah.
Like,
they definitely become a center of attention.
Correct.
They are a plot point.
correct. And it's always also like I can feel them like starting to like shut down,
Yeah.
starting to break down, starting to get uncomfortable with everyone staring at them, starting to kind of freak out and not know what's next. So it's like, but the reward is like after it's all done and they're smiling, they're
Everyone's
laughing,
cheering for them.
everyone's
Yeah.
cheering for them, and they're just having a great time. And then it's like that's a core memory for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what what I always say about whenever something like that happens. We try to minimize it as much as possible just because of the potential pitfalls. But yeah, like every time we've had a kid come up, that's going to be a core memory for that kid. That's
hope.
going to be foundational for them. No, it's not something even if like they don't get into D&D or anything like that, they will absolutely remember that show.
I will say some of my favorite audience.
Yeah,
more
let's talk
so.
about favorites.
Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite kind of players are definitely the ones where you can tell that they are. Even when I
Just
every
let him
time.
talk.
Hey, I'm
I
interrupting
didn't say
you.
anything.
Yeah, but you got in his way.
they're definitely
I'm
the
interrupting
kids
you.
that I will. They're definitely the people who are absolutely theater kids.
Oh yeah, the theater kids work really well.
Yes.
When we did our practice run with Funny Bone Mafia, some of those kids are theater kids.
I would hope so.
But they are so quick on their feet,
Yes.
and that really helps a lot.
Like they go up, they immediately know what to do. Like
yeah,
they come with like a funny accent or like a different voice, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, immediately like you know you're going to get picked.
and it's also even the people that while we don't like to have the people that have already come up, the people that do have those repeat
Yes.
opportunities, they also always do really well.
I also apologize for that.
That's fine. It happens. It's gonna happen.
I don't know if that's necessarily like I love so audience member, right?
Mhm.
I do love the people that are like respectfully giving hints and shout outs and stuff.
Yes.
I do love that. But as far as getting on the stage, my favorite, I mean, as much as like either the theater kids or the super eccentric like elevate the show itself, mine is always like my genuine favorites are always the unexpected like stars, right?
Sure.
The people that are like, I've never played D&D. I've never even heard about D&D. Just came here, saw this, went up on stage, got picked somehow, went on stage,
And
and
now
then
we'll
it's
never
like,
forget it.
now I'm just shooting my shot at everything I can, just trying to think on the fly. I'm like,
The Fan Expo girl.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think we had someone like that at ASEN too.
We've
Even if I know there were definitely people like that auditioned that didn't make it, but
Mhm.
still, they commented on the video being like, I just auditioned and this was an amazing experience.
Yeah. So, I mean, those people, without a doubt, are my favorite. The ones that are like, I have no experience. I like almost the opposite of the theater kid.
Yeah.
The no experience,
I have
but just
no
raw talent to do it.
Yeah.
Right? They get picked because they're likable or their answer was good. Or even, like, some of the people that went up, we had some really good answers on the way up too this time at ASEN. Really good answers
Yeah.
across the board.
Was it Friday's fighter? Like we couldn't figure out what
Yeah.
the applause was for. 'Cause
Really good
everyone cheered
answers.
So
Well,
great.
Yeah.
and it's like everyone's giving solid answers. I'm like, I just loved all of that. I love the ones coming up. They give a solid answer, or they're solid, well, hardest try. Those are my favorite audience members. And they will probably continue to be.
Oh, they will.
Because then they get on stage, and the ones that do get on stage, they just surprise me. And it's like, wow. And then they come up afterwards, they're like, I've never played D&D. And I'm like,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's my go-to. I'm sorry. This is nothing like D&D.
Well, but I think to some degree though, our show does in some way capture
The basic concepts.
the basic concept, but also just like the fun of doing D&D in the first place,
Mhm.
Mhm.
which is just the spontaneity, right? of it all, and the kind of like fun and laughter you can have playing like a relaxed D&D one shot.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a really good, and it's so unintimidating as a first experience too. Like, trying to get somebody into D&D, but then explaining, oh yeah, I have this entire rule book that I need you to like memorize. Not
That's
just
what the
read,
DM's for.
But, well,
That's what I do.
but it is difficult because it's like, as a player, right, it can be like confusing and difficult to constantly be, you don't want to constantly be asking questions because you don't want to bother somebody, but it's like for something like what we do, none of that's a factor. It's literally just you roll, you do it.
Jared's got
Yeah, Adele says, believe it or not, Eggman almost didn't go up in 2024.
Wild.
Yeah,
He's a
I
DM,
can't
but he's nervous in front of crowds, like being in front of crowds.
And fair enough.
She had to convince him to volunteer.
Thank you, by the
Also,
way.
Kelly says, I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I understood more about D&D watching. My first time watching, my knowledge was near zero. At first it was confusing, but you're able to catch on quick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Dan does a really good job at making sure it captures everyone. And also going on the point of almost like the stage fright of it. Whether if you realize it or not, I've realized it. Well, not realized it. I'm aware of it. Like, Dan is also nervous on stage too. Like, if you pay attention enough,
Which is wild.
well, if you pay attention enough,
Yeah.
like, he will just face the four of them, so he doesn't have to worry about
Yeah.
people behind him. Or you got your sunglasses on too to kind of help, like,
So-
focus you in.
So
too.
yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that. Well, first thing I want to answer what you kind of said.
Yeah.
You should never be focusing on the DM as the DM. You should never force your players to focus on any of the complicated stuff.
Right.
My second point,
Ideally,
kind of
yes.
talking about the comments, I'm curious if Eggman, like, once he got on stage, I want to know, once he got on stage, when was the moment, like, he was totally relaxed and having just a great time?
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious to know.
Like, how long did it take?
How long did
Right.
it take? And if the answer is there, what was it that, like, clicked for him? Like, he was like, oh, we're just chilling.
Mhm.
Like, going back to kind of me being nervous, I'm not so much nervous anymore, but I have been nervous. I was nervous for a very long time, and it only was the most, maybe the last 4 shows total. I haven't been that nervous leading up to those shows, but I am still nervous because the numbers keep growing.
Yeah.
Now, I do wear the sunglasses, and I wear the sunglasses for 2 reasons. One, all the phosphorescent lights
Yeah.
really are bothering me more and more as I'm getting older.
I can understand that.
And it might be because during winter, my job was to be in front of a computer a lot and to be on games a lot. My job was an esports director, so I was in front of the computer, on the computer, in front of games, playing games almost all winter long. So my eyes, I have like slight photophobia. My eyes just are horrible with light, so I wear sunglasses to help kind of take away the pain that they give my head. But also, it also blurs a lot of people's faces in the crowd for me while I'm inside. So it really helps me focus on the 4 people, or 5 if you're Anthony screwing me over, on stage. Or 7 if you're Asen and you just want to be special.
Mhm.
But, so I do that, and then it's very much, I just focus, it's us, and then I do crowd work, us, kind of thing, and I'm doing stuff, whatever.
No, and it comes off very fluid where it doesn't
Mhm.
appear anyway. We got a new chat?
Oh, yes. Adele, I feel like the moment he was relaxed was when he answered the question. He started getting into it more in the crowd. He's at work, so he can't answer himself, lol.
Got it.
Understandable.
One other thing is there's also 2 reasons why I do the crowd roar at the beginning. and it's one because it worked so successfully at FanX. Well, and it's always been a little
Yeah, because then
successful.
if anyone who's nearby, they hear that.
They hear it, and it's gotten us a lot of attention from the higher ups who aren't necessarily in the convention hall, but they're in their offices or whatever, doing whatever behind the scenes. And two, hearing the excitement for improv D&D completely gets rid of a lot of the nerves I did have or do have in that moment.
Also, then that tells you this is the loudest it's probably gonna be. Like it gives it a level, and you're like, all right, I know now where it's gonna, how loud it can be. So if noise is too much for you, you know what to expect.
Yeah, that too, but that's not so much for me. 'Cause
No,
noise
I'm
doesn't
just
bother me. Do you hear when I say, "Hey, give us a location," and it
Yeah.
like erupts? Like, thank God I like pick and that takes a lot of skill.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. The amount, dude, trying to hear even one location in the grand cacophony of people throwing out ideas
God,
is
no,
like,
Madness.
the WeCon main stage is gonna suck.
oh my gosh, it was
It's gonna
crazy.
be great. What are
so
you
hard.
talking about?
Matthew, do you have any, again, from your perspective, do you see people where you're like, oh, okay, I like those type of people, or you're like, I don't like those type of
He likes the people that don't talk to him or look at him at all.
He hates the people
Accurate.
that
And
are
he
right
hates-
in front of the
and he
camera.
hates He hates the people
Yeah.
that come up and they're like, "Hey, I want your autograph."
Who are you? Who sent you?
On the one hand, I get it, but I really dislike it when people aren't conscientious of the camera.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
they'll go
get
in
that.
and they'll just like stand in front of the camera or they'll sit down where their head is like taking up
Mm-hmm.
25% of the view or something. And,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, especially because like not many panels are recorded, so people don't like
Yeah.
respect it.
And like, it's probably more of our responsibility to get a good angle.
Yeah,
But still,
like like you can
Some
see it.
people literally make
Yeah.
eye contact with us and the camera and still decide to walk full bore through it.
Yeah.
So I'm
walking
curious.
past is fine, but it's when you just stay in front.
I'm curious.
Well,
I
then-
do like
You'd
this
be
time around
surprised
people
how
are
many
ducking
people,
under the
so
camera.
many people like Metal Gear Solid Snake under the camera,
Yes.
Dude,
which is like
yeah.
you don't have to do that for sure. But then
But
you'll
thank
get some.
you.
Yeah, but thank you.
There was some people at the last Amkey where they tried to do that. They weren't even in shot at all.
Even
As
though
they
I
worked for it,
know.
They still tried to do it. I'm like,
They were still
Thank you.
conscious about
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're able to put it high enough. So
Yeah, we try to put it
so
higher.
now-
We literally put it on a
How do
table
you-
with full bore.
How do you feel about when we had at Fan Expo, we were able to put you on that
Oh
platform
man, the
by yourself?
platform.
How did
was
that make
wild.
you feel?
that was pretty good.
That make you feel like,
We haven't gotten that room again.
That's what I think
No.
we're
Yeah.
gonna get. at
Haven't gotten
WeCon.
it yet.
yeah. But did that make you feel like we made it?
No.
I-
not quite.
You're just like, I
Yeah.
feel
It
tall.
was,
My
it
stomach's
was,
tower.
it was like it was one of the, I think it was probably the biggest room we have gotten to date. And for me, it was like a jaw-dropping moment to walk into that room and see just how many chairs were in that room.
But for me, it was like seeing the camera follow me because like I was on stage and then I looked
Yeah.
off to the screens and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't realize how much I was moving and
Yeah.
the dude was on me. He was perfect.
Yeah, there's another
And-
guy there.
And I was like,
He was
"Oh,
trained.
you got a good setup to be doing this." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm moving. I need to move back and forth, or else I'm gonna be, if I don't move." It's like when you're on the phone, like you were walking around the house.
Yep,
Yeah.
totally do that.
Oh, you don't have to call the entire Quest Bros out.
Literally
I-
lying on the bed, kicking feet up.
Yeah, no, I totally pace when I'm on the phone for
Mhm.
sure.
We have chat.
Yes, Taco Berto says, yelling piss and inside job at the top of our lungs was an incredible experience. That definitely got people's attention.
It was an incredible experience for us as
I
well.
always make the joke where it's like, I
It's
want to
so
know the
surreal.
people that are like passing by or outside or just sitting out there, and all of a sudden they just hear
Piss,
piss,
yes,
piss.
You guys left the room, mob mentality style, screaming piss down the convention hall. I'm like, we're gonna get in trouble.
And then the Saturday was worse because then they're like inside job,
Inside
inside
job.
job. I'm like, oh god.
I was like, how many friends did we just make? Like,
I wonder if that's why. Because didn't one of you say that like a representative from ASEN came into the room was like, "Is everything okay?"
Yeah!
yeah, they did. Which one of it was one of you two that said like the manager came up asking if everything was okay.
I think it was, I thought it was you.
Either way, somebody
Yeah.
definitely did though.
They came up and it was like, "Is everything okay?" And it was just like, "Yeah, this happens all the time."
It happens
This,
all the
this is
time.
basically normal for us.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Our normalization is a crowd of like 300 plus people chanting piss.
Yeah, absolutely unhinged.
What lives we live! Oh my god.
Well, I'm sure it was Jonathan of Jonathan's or
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Jonatron.
Yeah.
Jonatron.
We were
Jonathan.
loud. We were loud for the Jonathan one.
Coconuts.
I-
Coconut.
I never thought I would hear people chant for a chair in my life.
Yeah.
Like,
Did,
yeah.
did everyone answer the question of? Did you give your answer for favorite and least favorite type of?
I said least favorite, but I think somebody more or less, I think it was Jared that hit it on the head though, because I really like people that really like commit to a character or a bit,
Yeah.
and like they make that like their thing. Because some people, like the people that do the voices and they stay in character for the whole time, I just give mad respect to that level of dedication to a bit to just keep it going. And it's actually kind of funny. This is a good segue actually into the thing I was going to tell you. So we were talking about Italian mobsters the other day, related to like one of our dice giveaway skits.
Tony.
That's a great segue. So the Italian mafia.
Basically, okay.
Let me
Well,
talk
okay.
to you about
Okay,
Al
this
Capone.
is going to be personal though, instead of related to Questbus. And I just want to tell this story quick because I meant to.
How do you personally know the Italian mafia?
Let him finish.
Let me finish. Okay, so spilling this bag of tea right now. So my brother recently brought his new girlfriend over to my mom's house and invited the whole family over to like introduce her, right? And my brother had said to me the day before, he had her on a phone call and said, "Oh yeah, Mike is like the matriarch of the family, you know. So really, he's the only one that you need to impress." Right? There is so much more to this story.
That's so accurate though. But keep going.
Okay.
King.
So she heard that, right? And then I said to
How old are
him,
they?
my brother
20s?
is 22
Okay.
and his girl is 27,
Around the same.
something like that.
Oh,
27.
she's older.
She's older.
Oh wow.
Anyway, irrelevant.
Maybe he is one of us.
Looking at the graph of
Fucking irrelevant.
I don't know if
Moving on,
they're
though.
teenagers or
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So while he was still on the phone after saying that, I said, "Yeah, tell her to bring a dowry." Okay. All right. So moving past that.
I don't know what that is.
It's like an item to show appreciation.
Oh,
No. It's a dowry is basically a wedding gift that traditionally would be given to the bride by the groom and his family to basically pay.
You're basically
to
paying
allow-
for the bride.
You're paying
Okay.
for the bride.
Okay.
Basically, old.
Have you
very old
never
school
seen
tradition.
like a
I
Taming
didn't-
of the Shrew?
I didn't know what it was. That was what it was called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh.
we got something.
Speaking of dowry, lol. from
Keep
Kelly.
Okay, so all right, so I was thinking about it after that conversation that I overheard over the phone with him. Okay, how do I make this funny? So what I decided to do is I dressed up as an Italian mafia like boss, like
What a
Don.
kid. What
Okay.
a guy.
All right,
How did you dress up?
my blue velvet suit, which is like the pants as well, is also velvet, right? I did a white button-up shirt with the two top buttons undone. I slicked my hair back as best as I possibly could.
Did you take a picture of this?
I do have pictures.
Oh
I do have pictures. I'll
Post that in the Discord.
I will post it eventually. Well, let me finish. I get into character. I do an Italian mobster impression for almost the entire evening. I go up to them. They were not expecting me. They did not know I was going to be doing this. And I said,
Did your parents know?
nope, nobody knew.
Okay.
Nobody knew at all. And so, and I was late. I was late, so I walk up to them and I'm like, sorry, I was a little late. I was held up taking out the trash.
I was indisposed.
And I got pinched at work. I really leaned into it, and they're like, "What the fuck is this? What are
Kelly
you
says
doing?"
you're an
And
icon.
then I just keep going with it. I just keep going. And they're like, and after like the first 2 minutes of me doing it, they're like, "Are you gonna drop this bit?" And I was like,
No,
I don't know what you're talking about."
this is just.
And,
you
and
insulting me?
I just went on it for like 3 hours.
Holy shit!
okay,
You went
okay.
for the entire runtime
Basically,
of The Godfather.
Yep, straight up. Okay, so then I was waiting for dinner. Okay, so we sit down at dinner, right? Everybody's got their food. All right, and I decide to break the ice with, "So, what are your intentions with my boy?"
Oh, Kelly,
I can't even react to this.
Kelly says you're an icon, by the way, in chat.
And then I asked her if she brought the dowry because I had asked for it. And then she tried to give me her Apple Pay, and I was like,
Like she was just trying to give you
she was
money.
ironically gonna give me money for it.
That's ADHD calling out ADHD, says Space.
And then my brother asks me a question related to me doing all of this and all that, and I pull out an entire stack of cash, put it on the table. I put 200s on a stack of $1 bills to make it look like an entire stack of 100s, rubber banded it and everything, pulled it out, slapped it onto the table, and I said, "Stop asking questions."
Man came prepared with props.
That's not the only one. And then because he kept asking questions, I brought out some fucking like garrote wire on like 2 wooden dowels that they used to choke people out. And then I said it again.
I can't.
I wish I
My
would've been a fly
family
on the
was
wall.
dying.
Oh.
My family was dying.
If I do that type of shit with my family, my mom's gonna beat the crap out of me and be like, "Stop this shit."
If I do that to my family, my dad's gonna be like, "Dude, stop! You're embarrassing me in front of the family." It's just like, I'm embarrassing you. Actually, no, my dad would get a kick out of it. My mom would be like,
Yeah,
"What are
that's
you
another
doing?"
thing. My family would get a kick out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And here's the thing. I'm like, here's the fucked up thing. I'm like 98% sure my family would roll with it. That's the worst part. I'd walk in, I'd be like, keep it quiet. Let me handle this. I got this. And I'd walk in and be like, "So, what's your intentions with my sister?" You know, they would totally be like, "He's the man to impress." They would totally roll with it.
Wow.
Don't look
I
at that,
was
look at him.
so committed, so in character that I literally shell shocked my family, who are normally pretty chill and easygoing with things and whatnot. They were confused. They were baffled to the point where they couldn't just roll with it. To their words, I was so out of character that evening
But
that
so
they
in
wondered
character.
who I was.
You locked in.
And I almost forgot.
There's more.
Yeah,
Holy
I
shit.
can't remember in what context this came up, but I brought up my friend Tony Pizza downtown at the pizzeria. I don't know when this came up, but I just brought it up just off the cuff in character, just totally unexpected.
Kelly says I would expect nothing less from a person who watched JoJo's Part 5. And I'm just like, dude, same.
That's just
So
so.
next time,
Aura farming.
next time they come over, you bring Jared with you, and Jared also brings the tiny hands.
I am Tony Tiny.
This is my friend Tony Tiny Hands.
I believe I was referenced at one of these gatherings. Also,
Yeah, so I've shown my brother, by the way, our Italian mafia dice
Cool.
giveaway thing too. So that's
Good.
the other thing. He knows about it.
Kelly also put, speaking of dowry, since you mentioned that before, she was at an African wedding recently and didn't know where to put her gift and accidentally put it in the dowry section.
Oh,
No idea there was even a dowry.
Wolf.
She paid for the bride.
Yeah, it's not as common these days,
Yeah.
so that's why.
Other way. Wait, no, yeah.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I think it was another new comment.
I'm waiting for the end because this has to be clipped.
Oh,
That whole story
yeah.
you did.
Yeah, 100%. Like this is gonna be like a thing. This
If
is gonna be
anyone-
one of the things.
Somebody clip that.
If anyone in the comments,
Space, can you clip that whole story?
I wish my
Clips are
brother.
only like a minute long.
My brother hypes this story up more than I do because for him it was like so
comedy gold.
Yeah, it was wild.
How
for
did
him.
it end? Like, how you said you broke character eventually?
I did break character
Oh my
eventually,
God.
but
What-
like
what made you break character?
it was a random point
Thank you,
when we
Space.
started.
Thank
We
you, Space,
started.
for
Okay,
trying.
so we started the campfire, right? And because it's a really nice velvet suit, right?
Yeah.
You want to wash it as little as possible. So I took the suit off,
Okay.
right? And then I just dropped character.
Sure. Okay.
There was
Oh,
no.
the character was in the suit.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what
well,
makes
once,
us viral, says
once
Adele.
you lose the apparel, it stops making sense. Like it's just a good time to stop. It was already 3 hours in. Like I could beat this
3
joke to
hours.
death with like a horse, but it's still not gonna make it funnier than it already is. It already peaked like an hour and a half ago.
Taco Berto says the terrifying, borderline psychopathic commitment to the bid gets you a spot in Valhalla.
Yeah, interestingly enough, yeah, I think I did creep out at least a family member
He
with how
genuinely-
dedicated I was to it. That's not normal, by the way. This is not something I would normally do, which also
That's
really...
what makes it so much fun.
It does. It does, and I knew it would. No one would
Oh,
expect
I'm
it
more
at all.
shocked than anything.
I'm shocked that he pulled it off.
Yeah.
He says he genuinely spat his coffee out at Tony Pizza. That's what Taco Berto said.
Yeah, and so did they. Nobody expected a random Tony Pizza reference in this otherwise very serious bit.
I want somebody in the
Bread,
comments
Tony
or on
Pizza.
Discord animate that entire story, please. Please
Holy
animate
shit.
it. I don't care if it's an
Yeah,
animatic.
I made such an impression on his new girlfriend that like
You set them up for life.
She broke up with him. It is
Yeah,
now
yeah,
dating
yeah.
Michael.
no, but like okay,
That would be a wild way to say, yeah, I
That
have
would be a
girlfriend
funny
now.
way of how this ended.
So anyway, I have a girlfriend now.
but like she genuinely asked my brother, does he have something?
What?
Because
After
like
all of that?
Yeah, he has a gift.
Yeah, yeah,
because
my
he was so
man.
confused. The way he talked about me to her was like my normal me. So when she saw this, she was just totally didn't know what to
Does
make
he
of it.
have something? Yeah, a
Bro
fucking
kept
gift.
rolling high on charisma check after charisma check that
Yeah,
entire
this
3
was
hours.
fucking hilarious, and it's to the point where one of these days I want to just do it, just for fun.
Well, funny you ask.
Yeah, funny I ask, right?
Yep, next month.
Yeah.
Next month.
Check it out once it comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Wow.
just had to share that.
That was amazing.
Phenomenal.
Space, don't worry about clipping it. I can always clip it if you can't get it.
Yes. He says it should only be like a minute. He says he'll try.
Yeah, and that's fine. I can always mess around with it too.
What?
This is what makes us viral is
In this clip.
It's Michael playing this joke. Here's the thing. Michael in no way thought like, I'm about to do some serious content work here. I'm about to make the story of a lifetime. And then goes off and does this to his brother just for, for this story.
he just did this
He
for
had no
shits and
way.
giggles.
He did
Better.
this.
I didn't do it for content. I did it for shits and giggles.
It's the best part.
He did it to fuck with his brother.
Just
See,
straight up because he made a joke that I was the family matriarch. I'll show you. I'll be the matriarch.
see, now I gotta do that for my cousin's wedding is like in November. I gotta do that now for like her future husband's side of the family. Just come in with the trench coat and everything.
You should. And you'd be like, I
So
don't-
this is the
You,
family.
you go up and be like, I don't see a dowry. You're not making a good impression on the family.
Oh
You
yeah, I
did
also
appoint
I
me.
also talked a lot about the family and the respect. It's very important.
If
I
it's
did throw in the
respect, you'll
gestures
give the
and
bogots.
everything. Like I
the
asked her,
respect.
how is your relationship with your family? just to ask because it's like, well, we know very about the family, the Italian family. And
We're
yeah,
close
she has
to
a
the
very good
community.
relationship with her family.
Oh, good.
Interestingly enough. So,
Or that's what she
so
wants you to know. She just said what you wanted to
hey, that's good enough for Don. He'll find out one way
Michael
or
was
another.
aura farming the entire
I totally had not looked at any of her social media pages before that, just in case. The Don would never do that.
The
I'm
Don
starting to
just
think
knows
he did
these
do
things.
that.
He just knows these things.
All right, we're coming, I think, close to
Yeah,
the end.
pretty much.
I'll ask one more. Do you think we can do one more question?
Absolutely.
Okay.
2 more.
2 more? We'll see.
Uh,
So, another question. Coming back now onto everything.
I was gonna say we just keep
That was a good
asking,
intermission.
answering questions.
I mean, yeah, okay. If anyone in chat has
Yeah,
questions
that's
about
great.
us, about Improv
Yeah.
D&D, please ask it. We'll answer that instead.
Yep.
I'm still bringing up the question from Monday. Someone asked, what is a pet peeve we have that happens maybe during a show? Mine was when people don't get close enough to the mics.
Mine is when people come up after I clearly did not point to them. You know who you are, and you make it seem like I can't count.
It's a good joke, though.
It is a good joke.
It is a really good joke. I don't have
Because
one.
it doesn't always come at you. Sometimes it's at Michael's expense.
Yeah.
Too.
I don't.
yeah, I picked one extra that one time. Yeah.
Space, why are you all such nerds? I don't know, man. Why are you?
I don't know. I don't.
You're
really-
moderating us.
Yeah, that's.
Space,
That's
come
fair.
on.
I don't really have a pet peeve. I'm a very easygoing and lax kind of guy. So,
Feet.
yeah,
People keep bringing up feet.
feet. I just hate that stuff. But like, that's not a pet peeve because here's the thing: my pain brings others joy. Then I guess that's the show we're rolling with.
Brings
You
me
know?
joy.
I fucking
Everyone's pain brings
I
you
changed
joy,
my
you
answer.
psychopath.
Matthew's my pet peeve.
Everyone's
Did
pain
you ever?
brings you
Did we?
joy.
We fucking played that one game. Pico
Pico Park.
Pico Park.
Yeah.
Like Matthew's my pet peeve. What a little shit.
Yeah, if I had to name a pet peeve,
It would be Matthew's.
Yeah, I was going to make that joke. It spells out M-A-T-T.
but at least as far as the shows go, on occasion, like some people like try like too hard
That's
to
okay.
derail
I
and
won't
to
let
derail and to derail Dan.
No, but even if
And-
you're not
and
letting him, it's just like from our perspective.
Sometimes it's just like a bit much where I'm like, okay, all right, like, you know, just roll with it, all right? Like, you don't have to try like 15 different things to try to circumvent this one outcome, right? Like, just roll with it.
Yeah, and like while the wizard, he was a lot on Friday. He saw us then on Saturday and was like, "Hey guys, I'm not going to come back because I know I am a lot and I can be very."
He could have.
He was very
was fine.
apologetic.
He
Yeah.
could have still came back. I would have said no. Still come back.
Mhm.
Still come enjoy the time. Go-
No,
be
he broke and said
energetic.
he's like, if I can't be on stage, there's no point. And I was like, fair
That's
enough.
fair, yeah.
But he was at least self aware, and that's something I really appreciated.
Space also put, all Matt does is cause pain. And it's like, yeah, basically.
All right, and then I'll put this as the last question, unless someone in chat has a question, which you again
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Somebody asked, what do you think, either what we do or in general, makes a good panel?
Dan,
Entertainment.
Dan suffered. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Dean's suffering especially. That's what entertaining.
Well, that's your
That's the
entertaining.
entertainment part.
All right, so then maybe reword it. What about our panel makes it a good panel? But something that like someone can like learn from. or
What makes a successful panel is, here's the thing, right? And it comes down to this because I'm thinking they're not asking what about ours clicked that made it successful. They're asking how to make a successful panel, right?
Yeah, what
In
is
general.
something that they can take from us?
And on God, it has to be some sort of level of engagement.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you have the like fan panels that are like, we love this anime. You have the Q&A things, you have the question, like the quiz things, right? and people go to those panels and they sit there and they just watch, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people in the crowd, and learning how to get people to engage.
Correct, and that's yep, 100%.
And working the crowd work is going to be so huge for these panelists, to work the crowd, to work engagement, and to get people engaged. Because here's the thing, you're not going to get everyone to engage, because
No,
people like
of course
Matthew is going to go to a panel, you're never going to get him to speak. He doesn't want to.
But it doesn't mean he's not having a good time.
But it doesn't mean he's not having a good time. He'll sit there and laugh at you in the corner.
Right.
Because that's his happiness.
Right.
But someone like Jared, who, like, about Cowboy Bebop, very passionate, has a lot he loves about it, and wouldn't mind talking about it. And there's so many Jareds in the crowd. I would say it's 50-50 Jareds and Matthews, you know? So you can get those 50 Jareds.
We got rated.
We've got unofficially rated by Mel. Hi, Mel. And
Welcome, friends.
welcome.
Hello.
Just as we're about to end.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're on our last question, which again can also help for you if you all want to stay. It is, we're talking about what a question we got asked on our last stream was,
Hi,
what
Max.
makes a good panel? So we're kind of talking about from our experience what we think people can take and what makes a panel good and all that.
Adele makes a very good point.
Yes, I saw this as well.
She
Yeah.
said it on Monday. I hate panels that are just classes. I stopped going to most panels.
Yeah, I don't like just like straight up lectures where they're not
Yes.
talking to the audience at all.
Yeah, where it's like, I have a topic that I want to talk about because I want to talk about it.
Right.
And you are all just going to sit here and listen to it.
Yeah.
And now
Listen
I'm
to
just
me
going to,
yap for
I have a
2 hours.
PowerPoint and I'm just going to now talk about this.
Yeah.
And now I want to be clear, because level 21 does a panel where they sit up on the front and they have a PowerPoint and they talk about it. However, you go into that panel knowing that, and that is
Exactly.
the point. And it is their panel is beginner tips for a DM, intermediate tips
Correct.
for DMing, and you're expecting to sit there. And they give stories,
Well-
they ask people questions, and they do have a level of interaction.
And here's the difference of those,
Yeah.
because people that do
Mel's like, you got to cover your butt now that we're here.
here's the thing, people that go into that sort of situation, they're like, okay, we go into how to be a successful YouTube panel, or how to start a panel, or panels for losers 101.
Right.
We go into those. The
I'm talking
people
about-
that are doing those are still good,
Yeah.
and they're still engaging the
Correct.
audience, even if we're not necessarily talking. But they almost like, they have a list, they have a topic, but then they test the audience. So one of the first panels we went to together for like the YouTube guy, he was like, where is everybody in their career? Are we just starting out? Are we at a couple 100,000? Are we, millions? We're up at the top end. He's like, then that's going to be what he's going to talk about.
He shapes it.
So then he shaped the Q&A almost of the, educational panel around to where we as the audience were. And that's what I'm talking about, engagement.
Well, it kills me when it's a fan discussion panel for like an anime or something,
And there's no discussion.
and they're just sitting up there talking about it, and they're not engaging the audience at all. They're not asking what people thought about this or that moment or anything. They're not starting a conversation with the audience, and I'm like, bro,
Anime hot takes is a good example sort of against that, because it does have audience participation.
yes, 100%.
But it relied too much on it when we went, where they're like, who
Yeah.
has a hot take? And then no one is talking.
Well,
It's
that's
possible
the thing.
we came in later
The
and they said
engagement-
their own hot takes first.
The
like, as
engagement
an
is
engagement.
important for that sort of thing, where it's like, if you don't capture audience engagement
Oh.
by starting a good dialogue first, well, then you're not going to get anywhere if everything's too tepid.
Kelly makes a good point. Or how to sew, and it's a slideshow. It's like,
Yeah, she went to a panel that was how to sew,
no.
and it was just them having slideshows.
no, you
And
can't do that.
That's something that you need to get in people's hands and talk about.
That's
them.
so they
Yeah.
they had a
I'm
panel.
upset by that.
They had a panel.
Who are these people?
I don't
What
know, like 3 years ago or 4 years
I think I know
ago.
which one you're talking about, the sword one.
The chainmail one,
Oh,
Yeah.
where they taught us how to make scale mail, and you got like a baggie, and they went through and they taught everyone how to make scale mail. Like hands on.
That's
Here's how you do
cool.
it.
Yeah,
very
it's really cool.
tedious.
C2E2 had a bunch of like cosplay panels like that where
Mhm.
you had to pay, yes, but it's for the materials that they were giving you to
Correct.
practice on.
You know what really sucks though is that they raided right after I just told that whole story.
Oh,
You guys missed it. You guys missed my awesome story, which you'll have to see the tea in the clip, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the audience answer questions from AP Statistics, Scott. No, Clifford, no!
Definitely. not.
Actually, that might be a
Why?
So yeah, I always say like
What story in all caps is Mel?
Well, I guess you'll have to find
Yeah,
out in the
you'll-
next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
what I always say too that makes it interact is like of course engage, but also be interactive. That's why
Yes.
my favorite part is when I have a wireless mic and I can go into the crowd.
Yes.
Literally everyone's reaction when I'm standing there, and then I'm like, oh, I can walk out here. Everyone is always like, whoa, he can do that? That's allowed?
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Get his ass.
Yeah, and you even say like, yeah, this is 3D now, motherfuckers.
40.
4D experience. I'll watch the VOD.
I'm a real question.
I'm a real question. Wow,
Oh,
man.
Super
appreciative.
But no, yeah. So besides, so I mean, yeah, there are the ones that are like lectures that are fine and it's good. Some people do like that. And
Yeah.
depending on the topic, it is
expected.
and
if you
works.
if you put in the description, this is a lecture or something.
But
akin to
even that, I think even some that are lectures are just fine. It's when it's a lecture about the most niche topic that nobody is really expecting, and then that person is just like reading from a script the entire time.
Oh,
So I went to one that was about the Zelda timeline.
yes.
And they were like, we're putting the Zelda timeline in the order we think is correct. They did have a little bit of mini games, like at every I think they had 3 mini games
Yes.
checkpoints. But they were just reading through a script, going really fast, and they were like, "Oh, this is what this place is going to be. This is what
Yeah,
it's for, and this is what it is." Page turn. Next slide. And now with this game, we're going to choose and I'm like, "What is going on? I can't understand. I have a question. Can you repeat that? What do you mean by this?"
I remember
and then-
coming into that with you guys,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Holy cow.
this sucks.
Yeah,
Well,
they were
right.
literally
When-
just reading from a script.
When panelists don't give any care to like audience experience at all, it shows. And it's just unfortunate for the people that are in the audience that maybe actually are really, really interested in this topic, but they're just kind of like just there,
Yeah.
right?
And well,
They
it is
can't like
nice.
do anything.
It is nice to have sometimes a niche topic because then you're more likely to get picked because you're different than everyone else. But if you have what? Did you read it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Keep going.
If you have a niche topic, your panel might more likely be able to get picked. But if you have a too broad of a
Do you know who
topic,
that is?
then it's going to be kind of boring.
Okay.
We kind of found that sweet
What
spot.
an asshole.
We found that sweet spot of like, all right, D&D is really popular. Boom, we're covering a lot. But now we're going to take comedy and improv, which isn't as popular as a panel or anything, and now we're going to combine those together, and now we've got a really popular thing that way. And so now we're kind of getting a catch-all while still getting a unique experience at the same time.
The best way I can describe what we have done with improv D&D is we took a concept that somebody, let me finish. We took a concept that somebody had at Amkey, and then we improved upon it by taking a concept that was done by Penguin Knife Club.
Yeah. It actually wasn't
Right
even
part.
Amkey, but yes.
Yeah, which was an actual improv group, and we're like, okay, how do we
We can do this and
Yeah,
make it better.
how about we combine
real,
the
real
two
diamond
aspects?
in the rough kind of situation
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
we
and again-
polished it and ground it.
Because
cut
I
it.
think Knife Fight, I mean, they were also
Went
bringing
through a
people
lot.
from them up, but Knife Fight was doing it better.
Yes.
And I was like,
They were just like a normal improv.
yeah, and they were an improv group,
Yeah.
whereas the guy was just playing like D&D.
He was
Yeah.
such a
Simplified
drunk
D&D.
weirdo.
No, and I will say, like, it's taken us 6 or 7 years to
I mean,
really finalize a
Oh, God,
good
yeah.
foundation of
Yeah.
what works for this.
Right.
So it won't take a while.
I also like how my
It will take a
cousin
while.
went off and was like,
Tell Dan he's
tell
the
Dan
worst.
he's the worst, and all of you were like, don't tell him, it's okay.
Oh,
Like, we can
just
we can
say that.
we can let that go.
Let him
And
figure it
I was
out.
like, hold on, let me read this shit.
One tip that I give
it's the Quest Bros.
Yes, You all four of you were like, "Don't tell them that."
One tip that I also give to people also, or the people that asked on Monday, was make sure going into your panel you have a goal. Like,
Yeah, it really is.
you
important.
don't just go in being like, I'm just going to present my panel. My goal. I mean, if your first time, yeah, your goal might just want to be to get through it.
Yes.
Yeah. So our first time though is like our goal was like to get like 30 people to show up.
Yeah.
And then we packed the room.
Yeah.
And then whoopsies, we got over 30 people.
And
Yeah.
now we're gonna be main stage.
Our first,
Yeah.
our first one, we had like 120 people, and people were standing in the hallway, and it was really bad. And our lights kept turning off, and
You can see that recording on the channel.
So many
it's-
problems.
it was the worst. And then Anthony brought up like 30 people to go for one roll, and we're
I
like, "This ain't
remember that.
working."
Yeah, because it was the first 3 rolls were fine, and then the villain, like 30 people showed up.
That's
Like,
like, oh,
half the room fucking
Yeah.
stood up.
There are
and-
some.
Because that was a time when
evil
we just let
motherfuckers.
anyone that wanted
Yeah.
to. We didn't have a limit.
now we then immediately we're like,
Yeah,
limited
and you
to
work.
this,
So that's
limited to
another thing
four.
too. Like, know that you're not. It's not gonna be great the first time. It's gonna suck,
Oh.
and it's only gonna get better though. as long
Ours
as you
was
improve.
the worst.
It was awful.
Like I can't watch the very first time we did
Like,
it.
please go watch it.
Okay,
and
but
just
to be
just for
fair-
the audition part.
I wasn't there for that. I went back to watch it, and I said this was
Oh.
unwatchable. It was really that bad.
Space posted the Discord.
Thank you.
It was really bad. Like I could not watch it. I was like, and here's the thing. That's a good thing. If I can go back and be like, ugh, cringe. We've grown.
Growing
right?
pains, Mel puts it
Yeah.
Yep.
That's perfect.
perfectly.
Growing pains.
Now that we have more people in the chat, does anyone have a question? If those that want to leave because it is late, you feel free to leave. The other of us can stay.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Uh,
or post it
Just
in the Discord.
Matthew.
Yeah.
And he's not leaving because I have him now.
But again, chat. If anyone has questions,
You learn more from mistakes than successes. Yes,
Yeah.
Sam.
Honestly, I mean, we still learn a lot from our successes, but we also
Mhm.
find things to keep going and improving upon.
yeah.
And we've also failed a handful of times.
Oh yeah, we definitely have made the mistakes. Where it's like not even like we know it's like something just happens and we're like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, that we gotta fix that shit.
Hmm.
So we fix that.
If I ask you questions forever, will your stream
Never end.
This is my house, so I'll stay here. So
And
ask away.
and I don't go to bed until 3 a.m. So yes,
How do you-
everyone else will slowly fall asleep and leave. But
How do you feel about the Final Fantasy MTG expansion? I don't know what that
Magic the
means.
Gathering.
Magic the Gathering? all the Magic the Gathering expansions, Final Fantasy, My Little Pony, Fortnite, etc., Assassin's Creed, everything. What a disaster! Total disaster.
Man, you can go whenever you want. If you gotta go, you can go. Okay.
Yeah, I might clock out.
Okay.
All right.
Matthew's leaving.
Matthew,
Yeah.
Everyone shame him in the comments.
No, everyone say goodbye to Matthew. Wish him a safe drive.
Yeah, and
home.
I'm about to head out as well. But hey,
Shame
you know,
Michael too.
keep your eyes peeled for that clip if it drops, or
Yeah.
if there's a VOD for this afterwards. I don't know which will
Probably the VOD.
They'll definitely
Probably
get
one of
VOD.
the best stories ever told.
be. But
Let's just hype it up so much so everyone.
I was gonna say, guys, want
It
to
might-
get a little teaser?
It might have been like one of the best stories ever told on our channel.
Let's just.
Okay, that's really hype, but you know we're measuring expectations here. I'm not gonna deny it.
Space says shame Dan.
Huh? Fuck you.
With a small donation of $5,
Or just join the Patreon.
or just join the Patreon.
For a small donation,
For
you
what?
too can shame
Oh, is that
Dan.
what we're gonna
What
lie?
part-
For
Can we
$3 a month.
What price can we get for
Super
Jer
chat?
Bear on eBay?
Super chat.
What?
For 69 cents.
No.
Would I sell out
It's
a
against
row for-
eBay's. Don't ask how I know. It's against eBay's terms and services to sell anything apart.
What
or
questions
off
were
of
asked earlier? There-
Craigslist.
Craigslist on
Do not sell me on fucking Craigslist.
All
Dude,
right.
we should make
No.
a stuffed animal and like that looks similar to Jared and call it Jer Bear.
Thank you
Like
all
a
so much
afro-
for
Okay,
watching.
bye guys. We go through
And-
makeshift to make it.
An
Our
afro-
stream is not ending. I'm just
No.
moving
No,
cameras.
I'm just moving.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Okay, so now that the green screen's gonna be the main focus of it,
Just put up the clip.
that's it. Can we
I'll
put
do
the
that.
clip here?
Just no sound, just on the background.
But that Magic the Gathering stuff, total crap. By the way.
I don't play the game, so I don't care.
All right, so Sam asked to what were some questions that were asked already, just so they can ask questions so they know what not to react. So we went over our pet peeves of audience members or just things that happen in improv D&D. our favorite type of audience members, our least favorite type of audience members. We talked about too, like what we think are some successes to running panels. Oh, excuse me.
Where our next like we've made it goal is.
Yeah, what our next like milestone
Goals.
we made it goal. Personal, like realistic currently. I got the dogs on screen. It ain't free.
For free?
Yeah.
Not, we have to paywall
Yeah.
Tootsies.
Yes. I think those were all.
Hypnotoad the green screen says space.
Hypnotoad with the green screen.
Yeah. Oh, those are good questions, says Sam. I don't play Magic, but I don't have a mighty need for the Yojimbo card. I don't know what that means.
Sure.
I will just nod and go, mm-hmm.
So if anyone does have any questions either about Quest Bros, about Improv D&D, about panels or anything, I mean, we'll answer
Oh,
them.
do have a mighty need. She does have a mighty need for
Ah.
the Yojimbo.
Don't know what that means.
I still don't know what that means.
But yeah, feel free to ask us literally anything about anything.
Yes.
Well, I will say, we got more new people in the chat, so I re-announce the information that is now. That's a great question I just saw. But I'll come back to it. Re-announce the information while I take off this sweater.
For free?
For free.
Ugh. We got official confirmation to announce. So
Oh, from Final Fantasy X.
those who saw us at Anime Central, or even if you didn't, while at Anime Central, somebody approached me and was like, "Hey, love you guys, love your vibe. We want you guys to come to our con, WeebCon Indiana, in a couple weeks. Would you be interested?" I said, "Shoot me the details. We'll figure it out." They sent us the details, and they're like, "What do you need from us to get you guys to come?" I said, "You can get us hotel, the tickets, and travel. We'll come." And they're like, "Hell yeah, here you go." So they are paying for us now to attend WeebCon Indiana, and have now officially, I don't think it's been publicly said, but they have told us that we will be headlining their convention and be on the main stages for Improv D&D Friday and Saturday, as well as a potential voice actor celebrity Improv D&D. And in addition, us three with Michael will also be moderating and hosting celebrity panels.
Let's go!
We're not as you can tell, we're not like showing much excitement because we can't fathom. It's like, what?
Critical asks, wait, what con is this? This is
WeebCon
WeebCon
Indie.
Indie.
So WeebCon Indiana. This takes place at the same convention center that Gen Con is hosted at, which I think is connected to the
Yes.
JW Marriott.
Only this time we're not in the basement of the Colt Stadium.
Yes.
Thank God.
So yeah. So we
That
have
was cool though.
4 panels that we'll be hosting, which I'm not going to share yet because I don't know how solidified those are yet. But we offered 4 panels of different celebrity and animes that we wanted to host.
With different pairings.
Different pairings, different groups of us. And then our panel on Friday and Saturday, Improv D&D, will be an 18+, and it will be on their main stage.
Okay.
And then if there's a celebrity one, that might also be. They're not sure about that one, but
I wish teleportation was a thing.
it all depends. Yeah.
Yeah, same, Sam. Otherwise, I would not be here. I would be in Japan.
Brag about it.
We get OnlyFans content for free, so you also deserve it. Thank you so much.
It's
All
so
the
exciting.
So yes, WeebCon Indie. If anyone is going, that's the thing. We don't expect there to have Illinois. We have fans Illinois and Wisconsin. We are not expecting to have fans out in Indiana, so it will be interesting. But if you guys know anyone in that area or that might be going, please share it. Let them know. I did put in their Discord that they have a thing for panels. I made a page for our panel, so there is spots for it.
George Salazar asks, "Are we going to be at Midwest?" I assume he means
Anime Midwest? No, we do not support Anime Midwest. Unfortunately, I know it is another convention that is. I say unfortunately because it is a big convention. Other people go to it, but no,
And
we
it's
do not.
close by.
And it's close for us, but no, we do not support Anime Midwest.
We will get a bunch of new fans and reach out to new crowds. Yes, Mel and Sam.
Yeah, so that is very exciting. Again, being headlines too, we offer to do opening and closing ceremonies, but they don't have that.
Yes.
So that isn't a thing. Yeah, it is a 5-hour drive for us, so it is a little tricky. So that's why we did ask if they could help pay for some of our gas money or something, and they said yes. So it's nice that we're finally being treated the way that we've been wanting to be treated, and being seen as not just fans attending a convention that then want to host a panel. Like, no, we're being seen as people that can host an actual panel, and that are we're content creators. We're also like an entertainment group. And we're not just. We always joke that we're just a bunch of guys doing this, but like, I mean,
We are a company.
yeah, we are a company, and this is becoming more realistic and more professional.
Yeah, driving anxiety is a killer, Adele. Yeah, they're treating us more like professionals now, more than a fan panel. Correct.
Now, I understand that the driving anxiety can be a thing. I was the first of our group to get my driver's license because I'm the oldest. So I've been driving everyone since, and to this day, I still drive us all. And that's okay, because now, if I'm not in the driver's seat, I get motion sickness.
Yeah.
So it's a gift and a curse. But, sorry, I'm going to go back to that question that Sam asked earlier. What advice would you give your younger selves? I'm going to say keeping it related to this stuff.
Oh, to
Ours.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can always talk about it later, but I was like, we won't have to get too personal or too deep.
It's going to work. Just be patient.
That's a good one. Yeah, because I know very early on, it's like, I definitely had the moments where I'm like, is this worth it? Like, what am I doing this for? What's the point?
Also, take your damn medicine, you fool. Otherwise, you're going to leave your friends out in the dust.
Dan, do you have any that you think of?
I probably would have said plan it out more in advance. I would have said get together as a group and plan it out more, so when you guys start and you're doing great work to start with, like better than what the first show was. Starting from there would have I don't even know how much further it would have gotten you, but you would have been giving out a lot more quality content sooner.
Sure.
Yes.
And then also like figure out how to do stuff during COVID. Capitalize on streaming or videos, even if you guys are remotely during COVID. That's probably been my two things.
Mine, which I guess still is even, I think I'm still trying to tell myself currently, is to delegate better. That's a issue I have in my real life, in real world, my day job, and in this is delegating tasks and delegating responsibilities. And maybe if I would have done it earlier, it would have been easier now, and it'd be more that everyone could be doing, so I don't burn myself out. But I've gotten better.
A lot of delegation derives from just accepting that you take it out of your hands
Yeah.
and trusting that it will get done.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know.
And that's the issue I have, is because then sometimes when I do give things out, it doesn't happen, and I'm like, all right, then I'm just gonna do it myself.
Or at least in the way that you wanted it to be done.
Yeah, or at least like on the speed that I'd want like for it to
Yes.
be done.
Burnout gang.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I definitely have burnt out.
I can't find.
We're on YouTube, not Twitch,
Fuck me.
because that's where our audience is.
Yeah, I get
Uh,
that.
I have 7% left on my phone.
Oh, yeah, I get you a charger.
All right, thank you.
Let him suffer. What is this? What is this thumbnail?
It's
the
good,
picture
is what it is.
That Bianca took.
What is this ad that you have?
A new boobtastic game is here. High School DxD.
Yeah, you want to switch it on?
Yeah. Show Anthony the boob test.
Oh no, I've gotten that ad before.
Okay.
And I'm always like, what is this ad?
I love the thumbnail. Thank you, Mel. Oh, here's a good one. How do you move past your creative blocks? A good way that I've found is do something that doesn't involve thinking creatively. So, like, this is something my cousin does. He works actually in the creative field making websites. What he does is he builds Legos. Because it's more focused on the left brain. You focus on following the instructions and just building the process. I do something similar. That's why I got addicted to Gunpla. It's just following the instructions. You don't have to think creatively. You just go. And it really helps get out of the slump because it gives your right brain, your creative side, more of a rest.
So, when I was younger, when I was a young boy, I was and still very much am very into writing. And I sometimes always, my bigger issue is not so much creative writer's block or anything like that, or when just doing shows, it's not so much coming up with the stuff, it's doing the stuff. So the actual getting me in front of the keyboard and doing it. And then once I'm going, I do it for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes I skip meals even. It's dangerous. But to help with that, I actually talked to Rick Riordan, which is the author of Percy Jackson series. And he himself personally wrote to me when I was a young boy. And he said, just start writing on, like, just start typing, writing, whatever. Put nonsense on your page. Just go. Just start doing it and going and going and going. And then all of a sudden, you'll catch a hook. You'll catch something. And then just go from there. And then go back later and fix all the nonsense. Make it make sense. Fill it in. Do what you, like, do what you need to fill in to get to that point. And I was like, wow, that is actually an incredible idea. And so now, like, that's what I do is, even back then and now, I just write, and I write all that creativity down and then worry about filling it in throughout. So it's almost like getting points. And then, you know, another idea that I got was, I'm really in love with, like, specific scenes or scenarios that would be in my stories, in my books, etc. I typically write those out first because those are, like, my hooks. Those are what gets me interested in my own story. And I gotta get those down first because I have to be in love with my story. Otherwise, I'm never gonna put the passion into it to actually continue to write. So if there's, like, something you're interested in, or a topic or an idea, or even if it's a campaign for D&D, that's what you do. You write the hooks, and then you write it all the way out.
I did something similar with the novel where there were these parts that I had a clear vision. I knew how the dialogue was going to go. I knew how each action, each scene was going to go. And then I would just skip a few, go to each scene, and then I would just find a way to connect them logically through in the story.
Just want to make sure everyone knows the doctor is in.
Yes.
Eggman is here.
Also,
welcome.
Also, Cliff, I do not want to get into Magic the Gathering. Do not, please do not. I do not need another thing for me to spend money on. I already spend enough on materials for costumes and Gunpla. I don't need another hyperfixation.
See,
please.
but if you got into Magic the Gathering,
no. Okay. So to answer, for my perspective of the question, again, reiterating, how do we get past
writer's block,
any type of
or
creative
creative block? Yeah.
So for me, my creative part, especially relating to this and my real world day job, is video production. Like, that is my bread and butter. That is my specialty. Oh, excuse me.
He's getting broken up about it.
That is what I do every day. Is I work on videos every day for work, for the government, and then I do that for here. So how I kind of get out of that, because, like, I can't just, like, stop doing that, because I have to always be doing it in some way, shape, or form. Luckily for me, if I'm working on a video for work and I'm working on a video for the police department, and it's like, what happens after 911? I'm like, sometimes those videos can be very entertaining because it is, it's public safety, it's interesting, it's stuff like that. So sometimes having that new interesting topic is nice because it kind of breaks apart. It's a more it's a different topic. It's not this D&D funny, silly things that I'm always working on, or it's not a vlog that I'm working on. It's like, all right, cool, let's do something that's more serious, and I could do that. Or even the opposite. I've been working on this serious video for a long time. Like, I've been doing a video for the library, which is their employee orientation video, and it's kind of boring stuff because it's like, welcome to the city's library. You're a part of a great team. And I'm like, all right, like, I'm bored of this now. So I can switch, and I can now work on the Quest Bros vlog, and those are more engaging and more entertaining. So having different types of things to work on, so you're always, it's kind of like what Jared was saying, where it's like having that like left brain and right brain type stuff to work on, where it's like, cool, I can switch back and forth while I'm still at least then doing the same thing, which is what I'm passionate about, which I'm good at, which is the video editing. I can stay active in all of my fields and make sure I don't get behind on either of them. Also, the beauty of my work, if I'm working on one thing, it looks like I'm working on another thing. So I might be at work working on Quest Bros videos, but nobody knows any different. So I'm actually not working on a work.
Doesn't your boss watch these or something?
No, my coworker does, but he is. I won't put him under the bus or anything. I got you, man.
Mel's like, welcome to the library, and you're just like, I'm bored already.
I'm bored of this.
That is a good point. Welcome to the library. Oh, I'm done. It's like 2 seconds.
And you're asleep.
And I'm asleep.
Okay, for the writers, I gotta know, are you more of a character / dialogue writer or more of a world building / description writer? Or are you somehow miraculously naturally good at both? Okay, so for me, I focus more on the world building aspect, and then I figure out, okay, how do I put my characters into this world? How do they fit into it? Sometimes the dialogue just comes naturally, like those bangers, those one hit, those good lines. They just come randomly, like receiving visions from an angry god. I don't know why, it just happens, and then I just have to write them down, and then I'm like, okay, where can I put this? And then I will just have a floating line that I don't know where it came from, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Peter, what is this? What if I'm bad at both? Says Mel.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, who's saying you're bad? Are you saying you're bad? Because if you are saying you're bad, shut the hell up.
So that's another.
Mel is apparently a character writer.
I'll say that I am very much I'm good at both, but I'm better at the dialogue aspect than I am at the description and the world building. But that doesn't mean like the world building or description ever lacks in any points. But I think the reason why I've slowly gotten better and better and better at the dialogue per se is because of D&D. Funny enough. Because most of my interactions and stuff, of course I do the world building, I build out cities, I build out histories, and then I also go further beyond. I also go like, okay, once they leave the city, this is what's going to happen in the city without them there, this is what's going to go on. So the world lives around them. That's something I really get into, is making everything happen around them. So as the party moves, it's almost like a rippling effect when you throw a stone into the water. Wherever they move, the world ripples and continues living around them. But the dialogue, I really make characters, and I really make like their personalities and stuff. So when they're talking to people, then it's like, oh, I know this guy. And then my characters fall in love with certain characters and want to adopt them. And it's like, no, you cannot adopt the second bar person you find every time you go into a town.
Me when you guys saw Pidge.
I gotta adopt Pidge, dog. I got to adopt Pidge. So I think if you play more and more with D&D, the more and more you'll get better at the character development stuff. If you're DMing, I should say.
Hickman said too that too much of one thing makes work really a drag. You gotta diversify to keep each day fresh. I do agree. I think I'm also very fortunate in my job for where I am and what I do, where they want me all over the place. So like,
Cliff.
One day I can be doing a police ride along. The next day I'm climbing up a water tower. The next day I'm doing a podcast, and then the next day I'm at an event with the mayor and stuff like that. So for me, I'm always diverse, and I think that what helps too is then outside of work. Then when we come to these videos, especially like our monthly dice giveaways, we're really trying to always make them different and always change. So then all the things we do is different, and that's what beauty. I mean, coming back, bringing everything back to improv D&D. That's why those work really well too, because they're always different, and it doesn't make it a drag.
So, what would you say is the first and most important world building detail to you? So, this is an analogy.
You all are skipping so much.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm up to date.
You gotta read everyone's first.
I
Mel's making asshole characters.
Yeah,
Dialogue's for fun.
accidentally.
Rogue Eggman, I spend all my pre-campaign time writing the world and what makes it tick.
Yes.
Then I make a character profiles with the personalities and motivations and allow them to grow based on player interactions.
Yes.
See, like when I did DM a first time, or like the 2 times I ever DM'd, I think I was kind of similar to that, where it's like, yeah, I kind of have like ideas for the characters, but like I don't put too much thought into it. I'm very much a DM who will just improvise it.
Mhm.
I will not plan anything until maybe an hour before, and I'm just gonna fucking make it up.
Cliff also says he has a recurring character, Terry. Terry is a peanut butter bandit who smuggles rare tomes in bags of holding in peanut butter jars.
Yeah, I have like a ton of reoccurring characters, and some of my players absolutely hate them, which is why they're reoccurring, and some of them absolutely love them, which is another reason why they're reoccurring.
Fun fact, Snake from our campaign is actually a one-shot character that I made. Like, soldier background, rogue,
Okay, so
all
now we
that.
gotta kill him.
Don't kill Snake, you motherfuckers.
Because when we kill him, then it's just Snake, Snake,
Snake.
Oh my god! Now we have to.
All right, so now is Eggman's question.
Yes.
Mhm.
What would you say is the first and most important world building detail to you? So this is an analogy that I use. It's much like to all the artists in who are watching this. You start with the big and you go to the small. So you start with the big concepts, like what the fuck does the world look like? And then from there you go into the smaller details, like is there a mountain range? If so, what is in that mountain range? Is it dwarves? Is it elves for some fucking reason? Like, and that's how you get into the smaller details, into the finer, minutia. You go with like the geography, and when you go with the geography, you can say, okay, why is there just a barren wasteland in the middle of this field? Like, is there a history behind that? And then you can go into and make up the history. This is what I do at work. I basically made the entire campaign at my work. Unlike Anthony, where he has more versatility with his job, mine sucks. Where I can just, it's the same shit, different day. Don't. And I can just be like, okay, there are these huge breadths of just nothingness in between when I do actual work and when I have lunch and then when I have to do actual work again. So I just do stuff for the campaign, and that's how I was able to make like the entire world and the entire continent of Cyranos. I even made an expansion to the world.
Whenever I've done the world building, not to like be a contradiction to you, but I'm actually the complete opposite, where it's like, all right, if my players are giving me backstories, I'll start from there. If they don't have a backstory and they need a world to build in, then you want to build bigger. But sometimes the players that I've had, they're like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be, and they've never really like put their backstory into the history of the world. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll use that. I'll make, you're from this town, you're a knight, cool, and then I'll start from that town, and then I'll expand outwards a little bit more, because I don't want to put all this time into this like city that's way over here. They're not going to get to for 15 campaigns, and then we're still at the fucking tavern 15 campaigns in. And again, it does come down to me just improvising a lot of the things anyway, so then I will, if they do end up over there, like, then as I sense it, I can kind of make it up as we go.
So, you guys are going to be shocked. So, I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I build the world out and I keep it very general. I'm like, okay, this is what the world looks like. Maybe like it's almost like when you're making art, you're just like sometimes you just like throw shapes on a canvas and you're like, all right, let's erase this part. Oh, that could be a good river. Let's I didn't like that. Too many rivers. Put this back in. So I do that, and then I have a planet, and I'm like, that's a good looking planet. And I put some trees or some whatever, and then I put some color in it. I'm like, very nice. The elves live here, the dwarves live here, the humans live here, and fuck it, I like the exotic. Merfolk live here, and then I maybe name the cities, but that's as far as I go. Maybe I identify a good capital in each of the countries or each of the provinces, and that's it. From there on, I only work on the city they will be in, and maybe the nearest 3 cities, and that's it. Then I flesh those out more and more, and then I completely junk the world, and I go and grab all of the backstories of all the characters, and then I start pinpointing like the campaign. And based on their backstory, that will determine where we go in the world, and then I'll start fleshing out kind of in a broad stroke, because I'm very much, it's your game, it's your world to play in, you have fun. If you completely derail the campaign, that's totally okay. That's a part of D&D. Go have an adventure. So I do a broad stroke then throughout, and it's like, okay, this is all the stuff I'll have to work on as we progress through the campaign, and I'll start working. If they go so far off that it's out of my broad stroke, I just start improvising off the top of the hat, and I take notes and key features, so when I go back and start making them during the week, that's what I do. I never ever work on stuff in full unless I can control it like I do for writing. So if it's for writing, then similar to Jared, I start big, start with the gods, then I go to the planet, then I go to the countries, then I go to the cities, and I just go down, and then it's about my character going through the world and some sort of lesson or some sort of adventure or whatever. That's so a little bit of both.
Mel says she needs to enter the dice giveaways before
we become super famous.
And her odds plummet.
And you still get 2 chances compared to some others.
That's so funny though.
But yeah,
I
everyone,
laughed at
please
that.
join the May Dice giveaway. We will be announcing the winner next week. Still plenty of time for it. We're giving away a metal gold dragon scale set. It's really nice. It's exclusive. It's not even out. You can't even buy it on Robin's Art Supplies yet. There's a Kickstarter that they're still kickstarting for it.
Yes. Adele says all my D&D characters are chaotic forces of chaos.
This is the first time
Love it.
I'm doing a chaotic character, and like they're not. I don't
Love
even
it.
think I would call it really chaotic, but like
It's more mild inconveniences to me.
yeah, and
Love it.
I'm enjoying it because not to like because it's fucking with Jared, but because I've never been able to really play a character like that. I've always been like kind of like noble in some type of way, and now that I'm like a little bit having that chaotic good, it's nice.
So my first
They
character...
told me to be nice to Jared, so I guess I won't be as chaotic as I could be.
World building is what Samantha struggles most with, so she just absorbs all the tips like a sponge.
Yeah, and it really all depends on just what you're comfortable with and how you like to do things. I mean, we gave you literally there was no same answer here, so
Yeah.
nothing is wrong, but nothing is right.
I
It could
will-
be one time you're doing one thing and one time you're doing another thing.
You
I
just
will-
gotta find what clicks most with
Yeah,
you.
and that's the biggest thing is honestly, you're going to try so many different things, and then one of the things is going to feel so right. When that happens, that's how you just do it. I mean, honestly, that's how you do it. And if it works for you, it will work for you, kind of thing. So, like Jared said, once you find that one thing and how world building works for you, then it's going to work for you just like that.
Cliff also says, I feel bad for Alex. He puts weeks of work into his campaign, and I just trash it.
It's okay. I've put months into a campaign, and I have made it so it's like every city is completely fleshed out all throughout the entire world, and our party goes and like does something so catastrophic before they can even explore everything, it completely destroys it.
Oh, dude, there was so much like backlog planning that I had to do, and you guys just circumvented a lot of it.
Yeah.
Well, and so I would say one of the first times that I was DMing in college, I did do that. I came up with everything, the worlds, the countries, the things, the relationships, everything like that. And then we start like I had like 6 people. They were super excited, super into it. Bless you. I made all their character sheets and everything. We played once, maybe twice, and then we never played again. And because of that,
You just can't.
I'm like, I will never do that again.
I think I did 2 or 3 worlds like that just totally just tossed out or thrown out or whatever. And it's like, I can't do that anymore.
No, it's not worth the time. It's not worth the energy and the effort.
I just put more effort into the campaign hooks than anything else. So there's an idea and story going along.
When making a D&D world, the most important thing for me is to figure out the relationship with the gods. I immediately try to figure out how much power they have and how magic works. That is a good way of doing it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of said when I go to writing, is I start with the gods, then the world, then everything else.
I never considered gods when I was making mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to start big.
I
No, because
unfortunately,
like no one ever interacted with them or had any. No one else with like there were no clerics, there were no warlocks,
No
there were
paladins.
no paladins. So
Wow.
nobody needed a god. So I
well,
was like,
technically, as a magic user, you should still pray to
and I,
some sort of.
and
god
I
of
would just I
magic.
would like it says the god. Don't worry about that. We don't need to worry about it because it's just one more thing for them to have brand new virgin players. And I was like, let's not even stress about that.
Well, that's why new players don't start with things like. There's definitely classes where like, okay, you're a new player, try to focus on these classes, and I always tell them like,
Fighter.
yeah, like if you want to be understand like the rules of martialism, like the martial arts and stuff, go fighter. You want to like be a little bit of both, go ranger, because ranger is like, okay, you learn a little bit about magic, but you're mainly fighting.
yes.
And then it's like, if you really just want to learn about magic in general, I'm like, okay, then you play like
Usually a warlock. I would
like
think.
maybe like a sorcerer or a bard. So they're like full casters, but like they're simple. And I'm like, they're simple enough where we could like teach you how to use them. There's so much that goes into being a wizard that you have to keep track of, and a cleric or a druid that makes it difficult. So starting with a class that's not only magic related, but also has a lot of roleplay or just a lot of stuff to keep track of. Like wizards have a ton to keep track of.
Yeah, I'll never play a wizard.
I don't have the mental wherewithal to play a wizard.
You guys don't want to figure out how many spells you can fit in your spell book, and then
Still don't understand it.
No,
and then figure out.
never do, never will.
Aside from that big stroke, I usually start small. I make like one little town and grow from there. 15 campaigns. I gave a backstory. Then, as I play more, I realized that a lot of my backstory doesn't work for what the character ends up becoming. Well, that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
characters grow, characters change.
That's called a character arc. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing is
It makes your character human.
also making sure, like, when you make a backstory, don't finish a backstory, right?
Leave it open ended.
Correct. Or by finishing it, I almost mean like for instance, my current character, he's like, he ran away from his family and joined a pirate crew, and this was his pirate crew that he joined. It's like, it's not like, I did this, I became the king of thieves before I left, and then I joined this pirate crew, and
now I'm level 1.
and I killed the gods of thieving, and then I got hit in the head, have concussion, and now I'm level 1. It's like,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't make any sense.
See, when I was first playing with the first campaign, I actually could do stuff to that
Kinda.
extent
Because you started at a different level. Though.
yeah, I started at like level 12.
Yeah.
like level 10 going into 11, so it's like, yeah, I had the excuse of like, yeah, he did all of this stuff. Like he traveled around and then became a hermit because he was trapped in a cave by a giant spider. He got out,
I died, but I got better.
I'll go better. Breaking Bad, the D&D campaign. I feel like Anthony would like that.
I was watching Breaking Bad again recently.
This is like what, the 5th time?
It's my favorite show of all time.
Really?
You know what? I can't complain. I do that with Clone Wars.
It's rated as like the best show of all time, like from all the reviews.
Number 1 of all time, New York Times.
Holy cow! It's a lot of campaigns, all ends of the spectrum. Collect them all. Sounds like Mel's approach.
Yeah.
It's nice that all of heroes are different. It shows all the ways you can work. One of my next D&D characters I want to make is a centaur that throws a pole onto the ground and pole dances to attack. Full horse ass, swinging around the pole to full on kick someone in the face. It reminds me of like Hyrule Warriors.
Yes. Yes. So
That's so funny.
I actually had ideas for a campaign I get involved in. Not as the DM, but as playing. I want to play a kobold fighter, and he's Psy Warrior. He doesn't understand why he has the Force. He's just like, I don't know, I can just do this shit. And he also has like a broken broadsword for like a human, but it's like he's a kobold, so it's broken, so it's actually just a two-handed greatsword to him. I don't have a name for him, but I love him.
I currently have 14 campaigns in my folder waiting to be used. I let my players vote. That's cool.
That's
insane.
insane.
I like playing street rat characters. Adore them.
Mm-hmm.
Stop hating on my boy Jared.
Thank you.
Nature of the Beast with D&D. Mel had to change the BBEG like 3 different times.
Wow.
That's funny.
How do you feel about twist endings? For example, the villain is in the party. That is such a tricky. Specifically that.
I love them, honestly.
But like you have to plan that from the beginning. Like your player
Yes.
has to know from day one.
So
Well, it doesn't have to be the player. It could be an NPC.
So one campaign we had was the party was basically their job was to make the monster manual. So they went through and they hunted like monsters of all types and throughout the monster manual. Their job was to pretty much hunt down, study, investigate monsters, and make the monster manual in the world.
So it was like Monster Hunter?
It's Pokemon with extra stats.
Kinda. So, but the big thing about that was there was a campaign happening in the background, the hero party, that had nothing to do with our party. And at the end of it, as they're going through, they find out like, oh, you're not the heroes, you're nothing.
You're just there.
You're just kind of there. And the heroes actually fail in their quest. And then they have to stop the villain from doing whatever. But they have no idea. There's no build up to this villain or anything.
You know what this reminds me of?
And obviously the campaign ends with a cataclysmic sort of event that they cannot stop because they don't know anything about it.
This kind of reminds me of Goblin Slayer a little bit, where Goblin Slayer and his crew are just doing their thing, fighting goblins. Meanwhile, there's an actual party of like great heroes and warriors, and they're fighting the Demon King.
Yeah.
And the Goblin Slayer's like, I don't care. There's no goblins over there.
Yeah.
That's almost like the beginning, the plot of Vox Machina, isn't it? When they're like, there's a hero of people that were going out to do this, and then they all died, and they're like, well, shit.
Oh yeah, the first episode.
Yeah, the first episode. One plot twist that I had in my last campaign with a different group of friends. Again, this was my druid character who was a statue of like a great war, and like he was a statue that was basically like the Tomb of Unknown Soldiers. He was just like a man who was like meant to represent all the people who died in this war, and all the souls that happened in this war, we made it so that like those souls had to go somewhere, so they possessed this statue became alive, and I was that my character was a statue, and then because he was like made from the earth, he was a druid. So coming towards the end of the campaign, my DM we were all playing like over like Discord, the voice calls and whatever. He asked me, he's like, hey, I would like to kill your character off. And I was like,
who starts a conversation like this? I just sat down.
Placed his hand on shoulder. Hey, I want to kill you.
No, and the thing is I was like, I was gonna mention this to you, that I think I should die, because I was my character was very much like a a pin in the whole story,
Mhm.
like kind of holding things together. And so we never actually got to finish this campaign, which really sucked.
Because you took the pin out.
Because
Well,
you died.
honestly, maybe. But so my character died. It was very tragic, and like everyone was trying to save me and trying to do these things where it's like it was basically like Spy Kids 3 where we had this portal open and it had to be closed from the inside. I decided to stay back because I was like, oh, I'll just do this, I'll wild shape and I'll be able to get out a lot faster. Everyone was like, cool, makes total sense. And I actually I rolled it on camera. I rolled nat ones for my saves.
Mm.
And so we're like, this is like the dice are like helping write the story. Had happened. And what was supposed to happen then is, well, so actually what had happened is there was a big goddess that then like she took my body and was like, you are my child. So she took me and that's why I died. So actually I never actually died. I was in the portal, she took me, saved me.
God was
And-
just like, no.
And then what was going to happen was the big climax, the final battle, and again, Druid, like someone was about to be dying, and then boom, moonbeam happens, a giant earth elemental would come out, and then like fucking an Iron Man suit, my character would walk out of the earth elemental, because then he would be level 20 at that. I would get maxed everything.
Yeah.
And my DM was like, we're here to tell a story. Since we're not in person, if you need a fudge your roll so it's a cooler experience, do it. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I will. So we had this whole thing planned out, but we were literally like only like maybe 2 playthroughs playing. But that was like the fun plot twist that we did, is that like my character while everyone thought he died, because we had special earpieces so we could like all talk to each other. But like if someone got downed or died, you would hear in your earpiece, this person has been knocked down.
Mm.
Nobody ever heard it or never said it, but nobody ever questioned it. They just were like, he's dead. So then I would come in last battle and I'd be like, I'd help save the day at the end, and that would have been a really cool plot twist.
It would have been did you die?
Yeah.
Sadly, yes.
But I
lived. I misread Samantha's post as Naruto of the Beast. Lol. That should really
Be how
be
the
how the
thing
thing goes. I once had a friend who played the whole campaign only to reveal his mute character was a mimic puppeteering a corpse. We actually
What?
That's actually great. We
That's
actually
gross.
we had a player play a mimic as a character who was so intelligent. They were the wizard of the group. And they were just this little purple blob child named Hugh, Hue. And he was probably everyone's favorite character purely because he was just too nice and we were all just mildly asshole-ish
Mhm.
and just chaotic. And then there's just Hugh, who's just like, I just want people to be my friend. And it's like, you're too pure for this world. No, I won't let anything happen to you. Anyway, I accidentally blew him up in a trench war.
For a one shot I did once, I played a mute bard who could only talk through his lute sounds.
Hmm.
But then if I ever needed to speak, I would use thaumaturgy, because doesn't that makes it so like your voice is booming?
Yes,
Yeah, and I would just make it so then I could whisper.
he absolutely is. He was eating all the party's loot without them knowing.
That's so funny.
My first character was a wizard. It was a hot mess.
I'm so
Oh.
sorry.
Yeah.
My first character was a dual class.
Mine was a cleric.
Mine was
And
a
then it
ranger.
became a dual class.
Mine was a ranger. And then eventually I made a ranger rogue mage.
I was ranger bard. No, bard ranger.
Yeah, but one of those came naturally.
Cleric. I was cleric fighter. Because I wanted to be able to cast 2 spells at a time, like 2 action-based spells. The reason I think about the gods is because they change a lot of the way the basics of the world works for me. Like, the gods are so powerful, why don't they just invade? That is a good point. Like, it also can sort of build up the culture of
Mhm.
the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is one country worshiping one god? Is one
Well, I mean, it's
country
like the
another?
real
Are they
world.
all?
The real world, like
Yeah.
there's different countries that worship different religions and different gods.
Well, in D&D, it's actually different spheres. So almost like different planets worship different gods
Mhm.
entirely. So, but the god of the sun in the Forgotten Realms is like Lathander or something. is the same guy is Apollo in the Greek sphere,
Mhm.
which is the same sun god in Eberron. They're all just the same person, and if they're not, then they're akin to one another or something. It's super complicated. But that being said, I actually so much for gods walking the earth and doing whatever they want. I let my players play gods if they want to. And they can start off as like a quasi deity and become a demigod, a lesser god, an intermediate god, and then a greater god eventually. To the point though, I actually have a kind of a reoccurring kind of like cult or organization called the God Slayers, who hunt gods down that are meddling too much in the world physically. So then they have powers against divine abilities and stuff to prevent them and protect themselves. And then they don't hunt down and kill the gods permanently. They just, when you kill a god on the prime plane, you banish them for X number of years. So that's how we get around it.
Figuring that out helps me understand the foundation of the world and how it operates with so much magic and divinity. That is a good way. Space also says, time to tank Breaking Bad's ratings.
The thing is that you could try and then you'll watch it and you'll be like, wow, this is peak. Like, this is honestly some of the best character writing and story writing and pacing in all of cinema and TV, and you'll be so just in love with the show.
Have you seen Andor?
No, I can say I haven't.
Andor seasons 1 and 2. I know it's a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
See, that's the thing. It's a slow burn.
Is Breaking Bad not?
No.
Fair point.
There's a body that falls from the ceiling in the second episode.
I was gonna also say in the first episode, he's just out there in his underwear saying his whole name.
No, that's not.
Is that not the first episode?
Oh yes, no, I know what you're saying. Yes. Yeah, because he thinks he's about to die.
Shame Dan. Dan scared the others off.
I don't know what he's talking about.
That's a cool campaign concept, actually.
I don't know
think
which one she was talking about.
Might be. I don't know who.
It's a cool campaign.
See, this is the problem I have with like, going this far back, Anthony.
Yeah, we were back, so now
Yeah.
we don't know who she was talking about.
Okay. Now this would be a great story to share during a D&D story time panel. Cough fan.
Yeah, I
Expo
know.
cough.
Level 21's been wanting to do one. And I definitely been saving it. That character's name is Igashan, which translates to like possessed mountain.
That's metal as fuck.
And that's he definitely has stories from him that I would want to share. Also, the way I come up with names for all of my D&D characters is by taking like something about them. So my character Ego, who was a possessed part of the mountain. So I was like, all right, I know he's from the mountain. I know he's a statue. So I would just look up these words, put them into Google Translate. So I was like, let's take mountain. We'll go into Arabic. This is how like the English of it sound. I don't know. Chinese. Hindu. And I'll just find a language. And then once eventually I got to Iga, and I was like, I like how that sounds. And then we're possessed or ghost or spirit. And then I looked those up, Google Translate, and then I found that, and I got Iga Shan, which was possessed mountain.
You even did that with Trinar.
Yeah, Trinar. I don't even know how to remember how to pronounce his last name. Safarius or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I just can't remember what languages you use because now I'm
Neither.
just like, damn, if we ever go into his backstory, I need to look up the culture.
Well, because the thing too is like it might have been like a kanji styled language. And then that's like the English like pronunciation of it. So even if you type that into like a translator, it's not going to come up because it's not how it would be written.
Damn it.
Or it takes it, or it was close to that, and I was like, oh, let me like add a letter or a couple letters so it's easier for me to pronounce. Because yeah, I think I have it as Trenair, like air, because he's an air genasi. And that honestly, it might have been where I just took like wind and monk, and like got those.
Oh
from there.
man, water break and sit upright.
And a posture.
I don't have water.
I don't
just
have
this.
water. Do I have to go and get water?
All right, we could be wrapping up soon
All right.
too.
Mel also says facts. I think that was in reference to what Sam said. Inumaki from Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I don't know who that is, Space.
Water break. Yep.
Selena or Cher, love.
Triple backflip challenge. Okay,
Loving
roll on.
goddess next door or goth girlfriend.
Yeah, Saluna or Shar,
What is that? Who are those?
the goddesses
Oh.
of.
So loving goddess next door or the goth girlfriend.
Yeah, basically. Shar is a baddie, but probably Saluna.
Probably Saluna. I did choose Saluna when I was playing Baldur's Gate as a cleric. Sometimes a good yapping session is needed.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes. It feels like if it adds a fun extra meaning. I made a goddess of redemption called Nishansei. I'm probably butchering that. Which was based off of Nishansei, which is new chance in Norwegian. Oh, I definitely butchered it then.
Oh,
Triple
you-
backflip check.
You definitely butchered it.
Triple backflip check. All right. I have to do it over here. 'cause
All
there's
right.
More space.
Yep, more
Yep.
space.
All right, ready.
3, 2,
What?
1.
Nice. All right.
That's
keep going.
one.
That's
Oh,
you,
okay.
you have to
I
do it.
have to do all at once.
Is it all at once?
Am I doing three?
Is the triple backflip
Am
for
I-
like each of us does one, or does one person do three?
I'm thinking I'm doing one, and I'm spinning 3 times.
Oh,
Okay, try that then. Try
Okay.
that.
Do that again.
Triple backflip.
Okay,
Let's
hold
go.
I got
3.
all the space.
All right, ready?
All right, 1, 2,
Three.
3.
Whoa!
Whoa! That's crazy!
Gymnastics.
Wow!
Wow, this is
I didn't know
so
you were that
believable. You're so cool. Thank you, Mel.
Wow.
Okay, I'm
Wow.
gonna redeem that water check because I actually do. Need
Whoa! Jared did it too! That's insane!
Did take gymnastics.
Wow! I gotta try it now.
I fucking suck. Man, that's wild.
Almost ate shit.
I almost ate shit.
Why is your water cum water? Why is it white?
It's aerated. It's H2O2.
It's H2O2.
That's poisonous.
It is actually.
No, it's just more oxygen in your water.
Oh, you guys are acrobats. This is crazy. The most believable backflips I have ever seen. That you've never seen.
Yeah, wait, what? I think mine was the most believable. I didn't even successfully do it. I just almost ate shit.
I don't know who hog that is.
Let's see what it is.
Why not?
Oh, it,
Oh, it's just space. Just put a pog.
Let's
Alright.
go.
oh my god.
It is about a 10.
Michael posted a photo. Tony
no.
Pizza Pizzarella
Where'd he post that?
In our
in our group,
personal chat.
in our personal chat. Can't
He
believe
looks good.
Yeah.
Where? Yo, oh, look at him!
He's even got like the square round glass.
This is his new profile picture on my phone.
Holy shit! That is a good picture of
Oh,
him.
there's just clear photos too.
I can't believe I know such awesome gymnasts. So, fun fact, I did do gymnastics at the Y for like a couple years. That's it. That's the end of that story.
Who is this Tony Pizza?
Who is this man?
Holy shit! I gotta
Yeah.
give you guys a sneak.
No, you can't share that.
No, that's
No,
too good.
He has to share that. We can't.
Oh,
we don't know if he wants
That's
us to
his
see it.
story.
Because also, if people didn't see the story from later, they're not gonna know. They need to find that story first.
I was ready to show y'all can yell at Anthony. I was this close. I was
If
ready.
you listen to that story and give me and DM me, reach out to me and give me a key point from that story.
What story?
What story?
Oh,
You gotta watch the VOD.
you have to.
During this
And-
vlog.
Anthony's
Vlog.
gonna.
Vlog. Live
Yeah,
stream.
the podcast. Anthony's gonna clip it and probably put it on YouTube as a short or something.
As short as it can be. It was like a 10-20 minute like.
I don't know if it was that long.
It wasn't that long.
It felt like long, but I don't think it was that long. I will say,
It had a lot of ebbs.
Yeah, because I'll clean it up too.
Yeah. It-
Michael had a situation of a interaction with his family, and he presented himself in a certain way, and everyone had a great time, and we'll keep it as that.
In the
Just-
best way possible.
in the best
you
way
could say.
possible.
But
And
at least we didn't miss the backflips.
Hey.
No, the story is probably one of the best, if not
The
the
funniest.
best story ever shared on the entire channel.
So far.
And there's been a couple of really good ones,
There's been some bangers, yeah.
but his is so funny. I could not honestly pull it off. So you guys will absolutely have to go back and check it. It is so good.
I don't even know what timestamp it would be. So that means you have to watch the whole thing.
It was like almost like right before. So like you guys, like after you joined at a certain point, it was like maybe like 10 minutes before that, like soon before that.
The fear of missing out goes crazy. Yeah, it does.
Hey, but this is the VOD will be up and it'll always be there. Hold on, I'm updating. I have his JoJo's pose as my profile picture.
And then now it's gotta be Tony.
It's Stone.
Oh my god. It's-
I was planning on watching the VOD anyway because I'm nosy when people talk about cons. Fair point. Also, I keep looking over at this Pikmin poster and I see the one blue Pikmin with his hand up this.
Yo,
Bulbo's
okay.
nose.
One of the Smash Kids and I came to this conclusion that like in any promotional art for Pikmin, the blue one is always getting dogged on. He's always either getting like look at the Pikmin 2. He's upside down and being thrown.
yeah.
And in this one, he's being eaten.
He also has his hand up this Bulbo's nose.
Yeah. And like in the Pikmin 1 poster and the Pikmin 2 poster, I don't think it might be if you get the full 3, not the deluxe one, the full 3, he's like trapped somewhere. And then I think in 4, I'm trying to remember what is the box art for Pikmin 4.
I don't know. I've never played Pikmin.
I have the digital version. I don't have a physical version.
Oh, so you don't own it.
Oh, the 4 is like the only
Damn.
one where he's normal.
Yeah.
But then in Hey Pikmin, he's also getting eaten.
I'm just starting to think. Well, when I think Pikmin, my mind immediately goes to the red one. I don't know about you guys.
The purple one's my favorite.
No, I'm just saying. I think.
Oh, see, look,
Pikmin,
the
I think-
third one, he's like hanging on for dear life.
Oh yeah.
Poor guy.
I'm starting to. We are a Justice for Blue Pikmin household,
Yo,
says Kelly.
Of the 3, the blue is my favorite.
Justice for Blue Pikmin is what
In the
everyone's
first
saying.
one, look, he's fallen. Look at it, he's just fallen.
He's just face
He can't
down,
get
ass up.
No, he's like terrified.
Joke's on you. I was gonna watch the whole thing anyway. You better.
yeah, they both said jokes on you. I'm gonna watch the
Face
whole
is
thing.
like they hate Blue Pikmin.
This alternate art, he's hanging on for dear life.
He looks so terrified.
poor guy.
I'm starting to. I kind of agree with Space. I'm starting to think Nintendo just hates the Blue Pikmin.
So even as like the Pikmin icon that you can have as your profile picture, it's him falling and eating shit.
I didn't think we were
That's
gonna get into
so
a
funny.
Pikmin conspiracy part of this episode.
The Hey Pikmin box art, the one for the 3DS, he's being thrown into the mouth of whatever the fuck this is.
It looks like a weird duck.
Yeah.
To be fair, in this one, the yellow one is getting eaten.
Even the alternate art for the different things, he's falling again
Okay, that
2
was
different times.
I've never seen you so passionate about
Pikmin
something so
Icon
not trivial, but
switch.
like
Is that when he's just normal?
damn.
Where's there's like a standard one that the standard one that comes with the Switch.
He's fallen.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
falling.
all the rest of them are normal
They're all just kind of
except the
Yeah.
blue one who's totally eating shit.
I mean, you know what it might be? Because he's water based, he doesn't know how to act on land. That's the only way I can think of this.
No, but they don't. I mean, they do kind of swim, but they still just walk on land.
Yeah. This is not trivial. This is very important, says Mel. Fair point. I mean, it's like the whole conspiracy I did with
Fucking.
Y'all ever feel like a blue Pikmin?
more than I should.
Should I put a blue Pikmin emote in the Discord of him falling and eating shit?
Y'all ever feel like this? Blue
Do
Pikmin.
you ever feel like a blue Pikmin
eating shit in the dirt?
Hold on. Okay, wait. I want
wanting
to
to
know.
start again? Consistently says Kelly. Oh no.
Hold on.
I mean, I had that whole theory about like Wind Waker's Earth Temple, how that's actually a tomb. I mean, it's obviously a tomb, but where you get the shield, that is Minish Cap's tomb.
Even in the fucking Pikmin amiibo, he's the only one holding on for dear life.
Yeah, why is he so
Why
sad?
is Red so lounging?
Yeah, why is he so sad and scared in that?
The red one is just lounging like
Luckily,
Just
in
chilling.
the Olimar amiibo, he is just like standing there. He's just with all three of them are just fine.
he does look concerned as opposed to the other one. He looks
Well,
like
he's the only one that has a mouth.
you know what it is also? He also looks like he's trying to keep up. Meanwhile, like Olimar and the red Pikmin have like the same pose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one with the mouth. The yellow one has ears and the red one has a nose. The red one really got gypped. What is this? Speak evil, hear
Well,
evil,
it's-
smell evil? Like,
Well, they say the yellow one has ears, so because then it can fly through. It's more aerodynamic, so it throws further and higher.
But
The
there's
blue one
already
has-
flying Pikmin.
Well, that was before Flying Pikmin was a thing.
Oh.
And then the blue one has a mouth because that's how it breathes underwater. That's why none of the
what?
that's why none of the other ones can.
And the
go
red one
underwater.
has a nose because what? It can stand
Oh.
fire?
It can smell the flames.
No, I think and honestly it was either well, I mean, its strength is that it is just physically stronger, but I think it is. Well, no, no, I don't actually know that.
You know what they say about big noses?
Fake,
the-
fake Pikmin
No,
fan.
because they haven't said anything about it. The white one is because of its red eyes, it can see like things underground, so it's better at digging. It's
Alright.
also poisonous.
I do want to point out, like, not only is this Pikmin eating shit, and that Pikmin getting eaten, and that one's actually in the mouth getting eaten. Like, those three are getting screwed.
All blue.
All blue. The yellow
Yep.
one's getting stepped on. That's whatever. But why are they making the blue
Dude.
Pikmin being the only one carrying shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also look at the yellow one here. He is holding on for goddamn life.
Why is the
Also, there's Louis who's he
Doing
moved to ground
nothing?
anyway.
Also, is there a reason to keep any of these guys alive? Like, just let them all die.
Yeah. Also, why? Like they Olimar came to this fight with a crab with 5 Pikmin. This battle is in the water, and only one of them is blue.
What are his priorities?
I don't know.
Also, Louis, this motherfucker, from what I've understood from both playing the game with you and from just the deeper lore, he's a war criminal.
Yeah, basically.
Like, holy shit, this guy needs to be imprisoned, and I think they do in Pikmin 3. Like, they literally
Yeah.
tie him up. Smell no evil. Random fan question. What would you like as a gift based on popular video games or movies? For the fans to have an idea, lol. Anything from the Lord of the Rings or Star Wars would be pretty cool,
Don't-
movie-wise.
Don't ever listen to Jared. No.
What do you like as a gift based on a popular video game or movie?
No, those are good ones.
I was gonna say, I thought this was like an individual question, not for the group.
Isn't that what they said, though? For the fans to have ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like if a fan were to bring you something.
Yeah, that was
No,
my understanding.
No fan needs to bring me gifts. I get weird about it.
Dice for you.
I have a lot. Add to my collection. Haha. I should get them.
No, it is individual. Okay.
They're-
Thank you for clarifying.
I need to get all my dice unpacked and then get them all like set up for a picture. So I could take a picture of all the dice I have.
That's gonna be a panoramic. At that
No,
point.
I don't think it'd be that much. It'll be a lot.
Yeah, and I remember getting you staining you a chest for your birthday to keep your dice in, and you said, "I'm going to need a bigger one
Oh, for sure.
next birthday."
If I'm taking from a game, I mean, I always love anything Pikmin. I don't have enough of it. I have these 2 posters and like a thing upstairs. I mean, again, I was like Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts. I love Zelda.
You
I
love
love
you love the
Persona
odd number
5.
personas.
Dragon Ball, anything. But also like, I always thought it was really cool when like people go see like celebrities that have D&D things, and then they bring them like dice that they think represents their character, or like they think would be good for their character. So I
That's
mean,
cool.
if anyone like watches in our campaign and was like, Anthony, I brought you dice that would that's based off of Trinar, or that I think is Trinar, or that is like pirate, or that is monk, or Air Genasi.
Somebody-
That'd be
related.
cool.
That'd be
Somebody
really cool.
hand make. You know what'd also be cool? Somebody hand makes you weapons based off of,
Whoa.
or weapons or gear based off of your character. So like the wind staff for Trinar.
That'd
that
be
you
cool.
have.
Anthony be real DK.
Oh, yeah. Should someone get you a statue of Blue Pikmin
Yo, give
eating
me-
shit?
Give me a statue of a blue Pikmin eating shit. I want that blue Pikmin falling face first.
You know what it should be? You know those like stone statues in people's gardens that fancy people have?
Mhm.
It's just you're gonna have those
It's just
with
Pikmin.
and then there's
The blue one?
just
It's
eating
the only
shit.
one painted, and it has a mouth, so we all knew it was blue anyways because it has the mouth.
And it's eating
But it's
shit.
the only one painted, and it's eating shit.
See, now I gotta go to Nintendo World. Nintendo World has Pikmin just hidden all over it.
And you have to
And I
think they're
need
eating
if
shit.
the blue Pikmin is
Dog,
eating shit.
it definitely
You don't
is.
need an excuse to go to Nintendo World just for that. We'll just go to Nintendo World.
That's
you know
true.
what? That's a gift you can give. us.
No,
Tickets to
don't
Nintendo World.
I'll take anything Nintendo, really.
Yeah.
For
Legend of
me,
Zelda Metal Gear.
I was gonna say like Skyrim for me. Skyrim and Final Fantasy are like my favorite franchises, even though it's Elder Scrolls. But
I
also-
thought Elden Ring.
No, I know, I just keep messing it up.
You
Dark
do like
Souls
it,
related.
too.
I do love any Soulsborne game as well. And then anime. I'm just a huge anime fan. Inuyasha, Reincarnated as a Slime, Overlord, things like that. But I gotta say,
Final
I'm-
Fantasy, Dan.
I love Final Fantasy. I was over here whispering in Jared's ear. I was like, "It's a summon, Jared.
know.
it's okay." But
I'm just like I don't, and I was like I don't care.
my favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy Tactics. But I do also love Final Fantasy VII. What is it? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
It's a
The
good
blue-
one with Zach. It's a really good
In
one.
Nintendo Land, the blue Pikmin is the only one being yanked,
Yanked
out of the ground.
Yeah, it's
And you
in
can
the
see his
ground.
eyes, like, so
That's-
he is getting
That's
shit
so
on.
funny.
Bro literally looked it up.
But
Bro, Final Fantasy Tactics.
so good.
Booyah.
I love Final Fantasy Tactics so much. In fact, I actually took inspiration from Final Fantasy Tactics and added the Dancer and the Bard songs into D&D for our next campaign for like that as the class features.
Hmm.
So good. I'm so excited to see how those work out. I'm just ecstatic about that. But that being said, I do want to point out the fact that I do love Skyrim, but then Anthony was like, "Hey Dan, can you grab? There's something white in the bag. Can you grab it for me?" And I pulled out this stupid fucking plastic dumb thing. And as I pulled it out, all the boys go, "A new hand touches the beacon." And I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Because I had actually, I was gonna order one as like a fun friend gift for us to kind of like exchange with each other and like trick each other into like opening a bag and grabbing it or getting whatever or whatnot. Just so we can give each other that as like a tag, you're it kind of gift.
Get beaconed, idiot.
Get beacon, fucker. Oh man, and I'm the first one to touch the beacon.
I will say, in terms of Final Fantasy games, I have only ever played one, and it's the latest one that came out, 16. And I do want to try and cosplay as Clive Rossfield. The problem is making that from scratch is so goddamn
I
complicated.
thought he was gonna say the mechanic for a solid second.
No, that's 15, not 16.
Oh yeah, see, I'm a fake fan. You know what game is actually insanely good? I mean, 15 was okay. I didn't finish it, but it was all right. But Zodiac Ward number I think 12.
Okay.
It's insanely fun.
I know not a lot of people like 13. That cosplay would go hard. The problem is it would also be hard to make.
I also absolutely despise Final Fantasy Online, only
Yeah.
simply for the fact I have a physical copy of it, And everyone's like, wait a second, what? So I have the PlayStation 3 disc of, I think it's Final Fantasy 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds.
And
nice.
that's Final Fantasy Online. And it came with 3 months of free online. But I didn't understand that at the time because I was a kid. And I was like, oh, cool. We're going to play Final Fantasy 14. And then it was online. And I was like, this is insane. This is really cool. This is an MMORPG. I got busy with school, came back, and I couldn't access the game anymore because it wasn't free. It was a total nightmare.
You know what group cosplay we as the boys should do?
I already said we should do a Fire Force cosplay, group
Yeah.
cosplay.
I do want to do that because it's gonna be so hot to
Um,
be in, and I'm gonna be dead.
Don't worry, you could be one of the characters doesn't wear the jacket. Could be that one.
Well, I was also going to say we could just be the boys from 15.
15. Anthony's halfway there with one of the characters.
Yeah, he is basically Noctis.
Yeah,
Wait, am I going to be Glasses McGee?
probably.
Fair enough. I've come up with a new recipe. Because cosplaying them wouldn't be too terrible, because a lot of their clothing is common clothing.
I always want us to do the Power Rangers.
Dibs on either blue or green.
You'd be a Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
You give Blue Ranger energy.
Dang.
Aren't most of them like black?
No.
Oh. I'm thinking of
Isn't
Dino
the
Thunder.
blue one is when they were like, "What is your thing?" He's like,
I'm Scottish. Yeah, Space says yes. Space, you can either be the Green Ranger or the Gold Ranger, depending upon which ones we do.
Do I have to be Gladiolus?
Cliff is Cliff says dibs on Pink Ranger. Jesse, you know what, you do you. If you want to wear a skirt, who am I to judge? Now the question is, which Rangers would we do? Because I like Dino Force and Samurai.
I feel like we just gotta go original Mighty Morphin. You
Which
gotta
one's
keep
the
it
bike
classy.
ones?
The bike.
Oh.
SPD?
I was gonna say SPD though is my favorite.
SPD is good. What about Time Force?
I gotta look up the fucking Power Rangers.
They'll never expect the black dude in the Pink Ranger outfit. He's got a point. So, fun fact, I do actually know a bit about Power Rangers. It's weird. Because I think it was either ABC or one of those channels. They would play reruns of Power Rangers.
I wish they had the names next to these.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Alright,
There
are
we
they-
go. I found one.
I was gonna say, are they the Japanese names or?
So you have the Mighty Morphin. You have the Power Rangers.
I hate Zero.
Zeo.
I hate Zero.
Turbo.
Turbo I don't like. Space
Space.
I don't like.
Space.
Galaxy. Lost Galaxy I don't like. Rescue
Rescue,
I don't like either.
SPD kind of goes
Time
hard,
Force. Time Force is kind of okay.
though.
Wild Force is alright.
Wild Force goes hard.
Ninja
Ninja
Storm.
Storm.
There's only 3 of them. Dino Thunder
Thunder.
goes pretty
Dino
hard.
Thunder is hard.
What are these
Yo,
ones?
SPD I think is honestly goes the hardest because they got the number.
Oh,
like,
that's
on
the
side.
that's the movie.
Yeah, that's the live action movie.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Those kind of go hard.
Mystic Force I like.
Space is like the hell, J-Skate.
Operation Overdrive.
Never heard of that one.
Jungle Fury.
Jungle Fury is pretty good.
Dino Thunder goes hard, but I would really want to be the white one.
RPM.
RPM must be in the bike one.
Yeah.
I don't like how they look.
Samurai
goes hard too.
Samurai is pretty goated. And then there's Super Samurai. And then there was Mega Force. And then
Super Mega Force, which is just pirates. It's kind of cool. Dino
Dino
Charge.
Charge.
No, that's one could be pretty cool. Dino Supercharge. Ninja Steel. Super Ninja Steel. Come on, motherfuckers. Beast Morphers.
Super Beast Morphers.
Dino Fury.
Oh, Dino Fury.
Cosmic Fury.
And then there's also the live action movie, which is
Yeah.
just Mighty Morphin, but darker.
Which they have like Iron Man suits.
Yeah. So all I'm hearing is
SPD.
Dino.
Dino or SPD?
Dino Thunder did go hard.
Yeah, Dino Thunder goes hard. I can't wait to make Matt the yellow one. Jared the blue one.
Yeah.
Anthony the red one.
Oh yeah.
Me the white one. And Michael the black one.
Fun fact, Black Suit Power Ranger is oh god, I forgot his name in the show, but Johnny Young Bosch, I believe.
Yes.
But
Or
other
yeah, he's one of them. Yeah.
yeah. He was the Green Ranger in the original Mighty Morphin.
It'd be really funny if we all got really good suits and just one of us had a really
You're
like,
really bad like morph suit.
and just like a really bad one and just like the rubber band mask and it's plastic.
But
Like, it's rubber.
Space is like, but Mystic Force has capes. That is a good point. However, Dino Thunder slaps. Cliff is just like pink.
Also, like
There is no Pink Ranger in Dino
also
Thunder.
like, don't you ever listen? No capes.
No capes.
No capes.
Ninja Storm is also good.
There's one of the Power Rangers. I don't remember which one that ended up having like purple Power Ranger,
That might have been
And there was, like, a-
Jungle Fury.
and there was like a teal one too. Like they had like 8 different versions of it because they ran out of colors. They had literally red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Then they had to do pink, teal, white, and black.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, says Cliff. No, we won't. What I liked about in Samurai, the Gold Ranger,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have like one of the fancy gadgets that turned him into a ranger. He just made one, like from scratch.
In SPD, like their like Super Ranger was like this humanoid dog,
Yeah,
and all the numbers were 1 through whatever, and I think he was like 1,000,
yeah.
or maybe he was 0.
So if we do that was you said
SPD.
yeah
Space
SPD.
Patrol Delta.
So if we do that, who's
I
going
wanna
to be
be
the
the dog.
furry? You want to be the furry?
No. I
You heard it here.
No.
first! You heard it here first.
No.
Stan's gonna be the furry.
God, no. That's the worst. Jared got me lacking, dude.
You fool.
Oh, he was number 100. The dog was number
I have to
100.
go to a wedding tomorrow. Have a good night. Congrats on the success. Thank you, Nightcliff. Happy wedding.
Speaking
Have a
of,
good night.
come on, no,
Dude.
no.
Dan, Mel's like Dan for furry. Hashtag 2025.
Oh, there's 2 white ones in SPD, but I guess that might be the gold one.
In SPD, I don't know.
Yeah, here. So there's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. What 6 ended up just going Roman numeral and it's like white and gold.
Honestly, that makes sense.
And then I don't know who this one is. They don't have a number on them.
That's not a real Power Ranger.
And then the dog.
the dog.
What the dog doing?
The
Yeah,
dog
isn't the
is
dog-
number 100.
Isn't the dog like the chief of police, basically?
Yeah.
Funny enough,
He also has ears.
Yeah.
funny enough, he was my favorite growing up.
Yeah, he was the coolest one.
No, I'm gonna be the dog. Y'all might get your wish.
Oh, and then there was a Power Ranger Zero, and he was orange.
Yep, their commander. Oh, that's. I don't remember the orange guy.
I feel like I remember that. Maybe I remember.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, and
That's
then
number
was
10.
And then there was like a reverse one
There's green.
That's negative one.
in green. This is I think it's 3. You usually can tell by the number of
That's just
Spaces.
from Mighty Morphin.
spaces on the head. So there's 3 spaces there. This is 4, and there's 4. 6 has 6 things. I can't tell for those 2.
The Green Ranger.
Those aren't real people.
The Green Ranger. That's just
Well, I think it's like
Tommy.
that's the thing. Is like
That was his name, Tommy.
the Green Ranger was always like something that was like passed down.
Hey, what the dog doing?
Yeah.
Maybe that's like a cat.
Honestly, it probably is.
You know what? I think there was a cat in the show. Not it. But then, like, who are these other people?
It's just different versions of it too. It's just the different armored versions and whatnot.
Y'all remember when they had that show where all of the Power Rangers showed up and it was just a sea of Red Rangers,
Oh yeah.
all just running in one direction? And I'm just like, you watch that, and I'm just like, what is going on? What is happening? This is sick as hell, but what the fuck? And they said Endgame was the most ambitious crossover ever. Lies. Oh yeah,
There was a
the
cat-like
cat-like
doctor
doctor who
who
morphed.
morphed, yeah.
Okay. Morty, I'm morphing. The Forever Red special. Yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about. See,
All right.
you say cat-like. Now I think Animorphers, and she's just halfway in between turning into a cat, and she just got stuck there.
Are you looking up the outfit?
Yeah.
All right, I think we can end it there. We've been going
Yeah.
for quite a while. I don't even know how long we've been going for.
3 hours.
God, it doesn't say. It does not say.
It'll say once I stop the live.
Yeah, it's only been like.
I can tell you actually.
Oh,
It
does it
says
say it on
right
there?
here.
Bro, Anthony, you having the same bottle keeps messing up.
It doesn't say on here. Usually
Having
it
the
tells
same
you a little
bottle keeps
timer.
messing me up. What?
I think he meant to say the same bottle as him.
Oh, the Curiosity Box Lightyear bottle.
I'm so happy y'all yapped for another hour.
I thought you were
Yeah,
gonna,
we
I thought you were
were
gonna leave the
done.
second I joined.
It was great chatting with you. Oh yeah, he did
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
the same bottle. Yeah. Well, yes. Thank you all for joining us on the stream.
Yes,
Oh, that is really cool.
we really should do this more often. I say this like it's a date.
Yeah.
I literally made like this entire cosplay today.
Yeah. So again,
Good for
we
you. Anyway,
are being invited and being the headlines of WeebCon Indy. So please, if you're around in that area, if you're available, please go to that con. Come check us out. Of course, we'll be recording our show. What else we got coming up? Next con after that, I think is Fan Expo in August.
yes.
Join, follow us on all of our social media. The monthly dice giveaway for May is still active. You got 1 week left, so comment on that for the Metal Dragon Scale Gold set. Remember, Blue Pikmin's always eating shit.
I'm also noticing this blue Pikmin near the pomegranate. It almost looks like he's getting crushed by it.
Can I get a F in the chat for the Blue Pikmin? But yeah, that's all I got. Anyone else got anything else?
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord to stay up to date on everything. You can
Yes.
chat with us when
Please
we're
join
not
the
recording.
Discord. It's been a lot more active lately, and I've been very much enjoying it.
It's been so active.
That's great.
It's honestly hard to keep track sometimes.
What's the dog doing?
Be sure to check out our merch store, please, so we can see like half of an entire section.
So we can see more people with our merch with our
Yes,
cons.
please.
That'd be cool.
Please, if you do, we'll make more shirts.
Yeah, also, if there's ideas that people have for stuff, let us know.
We're not gonna make Toconuts a shirt, maybe.
No, we're not.
We can make all those emote stickers, though.
Please don't.
Yes.
Yeah, the hoodies are actually comfy.
Yes. I've heard nothing but positive reviews from the hoodie.
When are we getting hoodies?
Yeah, we gotta figure that out. All right,
You can
but
buy them yourself.
that is all. Thank you all for watching, and we will catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Do, do, do.